Works. Hopefully this thing will work. We'll see. So what were you saying?
Oh, I was talking to this Japanese woman.
Uh-huh.
Moved here. She lives here with her husband.
Is that the one you accidentally cracked in the head with your elbow? No. Oh.
No, so she came over when, saw my glasses in the pool in the koi pond.
Well, how'd they get there?
I was walking across the bridge and they fell out of my pocket. Of course, they go into the fish pond.
Oh, they went into the fish pond and you couldn't reach them?
No.
So you had it was too big.
So I went to the attendant who spoke no English. And I showed her my thing. The little boy is there, and I kept saying she had a pole for 8-foot water with a 4-foot pole, and I was like, "Hon, I don't think that math is going to work. Really?
Right?
Do you have longer?" She just walks off. I go, she give up, and the little kid, I told the kid, "I'll pick you up. You put him in." Laughing and everything. So I ended up speaking with this woman. She's new here, and very, very nice woman. They're going to raise a child.
Okay, you don't need any prefaces. Just let's get to the story.
So anyway, I said, I'll bet when you walk to a busy intersection, I said, you wait, and there's nobody there, and you need to cross. You wait for some Thai people. She said, "Oh, yes." I said, "Everybody does that. I do it too. I won't be the first one."
But what does that have to do with your glasses?
Nothing. You wanted me to move on with the fucking.
Well, I wanted you to get to the finale.
No, well, there is no
every
finale.
story's got to have an arc.
Oh, that was it. But anyway, and she's.
So who reached down and got the glasses
like
for
the
you?
woman came back with a hook and a gaffing hook and got them out and everything, but.
She couldn't speak a word of English though.
She knew
she understood you.
She knew what.
Yeah, she knew. Oh, this guy dropped his expensive glasses in the pond, and
the last thing I wanted to say is, "Hey, Ray-Bans." She was like, "Yeah, now I'm really gonna look for them, right?"
Somebody might find them and get them.
I
out
know
of
they
there.
were. You could see them from the fish were looking at them.
Well, that was funny.
Yeah, well,
that fell flat. I gotta tell you.
I don't mean it that way. It's not supposed to be funny, but I'm just saying this is my experience.
Listen, Johno, it's a little too much for me so quickly because I'm feeling a little down this morning. Some things happened that I'll get into later. I'm a little bit down. Today I was sitting there with my wife. She's getting ready to go to work. She says, "What's the matter with you?" I said, "Well, I'm a little down." She says, "Why are you a little bit down?" I said, "Because I realized now I'm 57 years old. I'm old. I'm overweight. I'm fat. And I'm not as handsome as I used to be, let's face it, no 22-year-old girl is going to look at me like at Brad Pitt. She probably thinks I'm ugly." So I said to my wife, I really feel bad about that, and I'm working hard. I'm tired all the time. I said, "I need you to say something good about me. Remind me why you're with me." She said, "Your eyesight is perfect." I looked in the mirror, and told her all those things, and I realized, hey. And then she told me, "Well, at least your eyesight's perfect."
And
that was supposed to be a joke.
I know.
I didn't pull it off all that well. It was kind of like a Johno joke.
Yeah, mine doesn't play well on YouTube. My humor. The little kid thought I was funny yesterday.
Little kid. What?
The little boy at the pool that was getting my glasses.
Oh, okay, all right. It started out. It didn't sound
your wife
great.
a good cook?
Yeah, she's a pretty good cook.
Okay, mine wasn't.
Probably why you're not with her anymore. Don't women know there's two places to get to the man's heart?
Yeah, she knew neither of them. She was horrible cook. We used to pray after we ate.
But you prayed. You had to pray.
I had to pray.
And you're not a religious guy.
No, at all.
Good morning, everybody. In case you don't know, I'm here with Mr. Johno, longtime expat Mr. Johno. And, we were just talking about coffee and beans and, all this good stuff. And then I remembered that Starbucks has raised their price once again. I want to go to somebody at Starbucks and go, "Who the fuck do you think you are? How can you continually rape people and feel good about serving your coffee?" And you know how they do it? It's because the people in charge have usually younger people who just want a job. They tell them they got to put a smile on their face or they won't have a job. And they just, hey, the price is not I don't know. It's the people, corporate, you know. And so they're raising the price. I mean, since I came here, the price of espresso has more than doubled.
That's crazy.
More than doubled.
And the competition is quadrupled.
Not since I've been here, since they opened a Starbucks.
At your...
In
right.
Yeah.
And the competition is quadrupled.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can get an espresso at Amazon Coffee, 35 baht.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Espresso. Cappuccino, 45 baht. But it's not Starbucks.
Yeah. I think the draw to the Starbucks down here is that it's huge.
Oh, yeah, of course. But have you figured out how much your coffee is per cup? Because I figured out before how much my espresso was per cup.
Yeah, at $15 a pound, it's 40 cents a cup.
Wow. Yeah, it's expensive.
That's retail, which I used to roast. And roast beans brings it down to about $9 a pound, and you're getting a much better thing. It's not a lot of science in roasting coffee, but yeah, 40 cents to me at $15 a pound. You get 40 servings from a pound.
Soy Dog Cowboy just said, well, you know, at Starbucks, you're paying for the seat. You're paying for, and that's
Absolutely.
true. You're paying for the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. I'd rather they got better prices on their chairs and tables and made things a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to have such a luxurious chair sometimes. I mean, I sit at Black Canyon Coffee, not Black Canyon, Cafe Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon's
Their chairs are not exactly, you know, super comfortable, but they're comfortable enough when I go, hey, wait a minute, I can get 3 coffees for the price of one.
Yes.
And the people are real. It's not like, hi, I'm your Starbucks barista. How can I help you? Cop. You know?
There's a large West Coast chain, Peet, that tried to be like a Starbucks. Alfred Peet started it, and he was one of the originators of the coffee house culture.
I thought his name was Pete.
No.
It was Petey Pete.
Peet. He was a machinist. He didn't even drink coffee.
Oh, so how did he start that up?
He tinkered around. He probably tinkled too, but he tinkered around with roasting machines. So he opened up the first outlet on Ashby Avenue in Berkeley, California, and he specifically made the seats the wrong height and made the seats uncomfortable because he said he didn't want any hippies hanging around his coffee house.
Really?
Yeah, so he actually went...
Wow, can you blame him?
No, not
You know,
really.
did you see about listen, we weren't going to get into all this, but we're chatting, so we might as well just finish our little chat before we get into the, serious stuff.
The serious stuff where I start telling jokes.
Yeah. But did you see the thing, I don't know how long ago, it was a year, 2 years, a couple years ago, where the guys went into Starbucks. I guess they were African American.
Oh, yes.
And then, the Starbucks employee said, you guys going to buy anything? And it caused a big backlash. And it's like, wait a minute. Now you're telling me this guy can come into your coffee shop, your establishment, and sit there as long as he wants and not even do anything. That's like going into, Nordstrom's to buy stuff, and all you do is walk around and then fall asleep at the shoe place, at the shoe department.
Yeah.
And you don't go anywhere, and you do that every single day, and they can't kick you out. I don't understand it. It's like, why don't you buy a water? Why don't you do something? Why are you siding with them when really, listen, I don't particularly like Starbucks. I admit it. I don't like them as a company. I don't like the phoniness. I can't stand that. And, same thing goes with 7-Eleven. You walk in, and they welcome you in 7-Eleven. It's like, listen, don't welcome me.
Yeah, I don't even
My wife doesn't welcome me. My kids don't welcome me when I come in. The most I might get is a, hey.
They all say hello to me. I don't know, and
They always do.
Yeah, they always do, and I don't know what the fuck to say.
And some of them give you a genuine smile, and
some
of them give you that.
Yeah. Then they
Sawadika.
And then when
what would you like? And then it's like, I'll just have a bottle of water, please, or I'll just have an espresso, please. What? You don't want a Canome? You want a Canome, yeah? Oh, we have a special. This special drink, this green matcha tea. And I'm like, listen. When have I ever drank your green matcha tea? I don't want that shit. I don't want to drink it. I don't want it.
They at this 7-Eleven, they have like promo candy at the
Yeah, always.
They never ask any Thai people, but they always ask me, you want? I said, I don't eat that stuff, dude. I don't eat sugar. And
All I gotta do is shake your head. But I
No,
understand.
I know,
After a
but-
while, you're like, dude.
I don't eat it.
Yeah.
And a fellow came over and he said, you know, I stopped for some water at the 7-Eleven, and I've never had a 7-Eleven person ask me. He said, they didn't ask anybody else.
He
said,
was
"What did
a foreigner?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's different. Yeah.
Well, my point of view on that, and I'll make this short so that I can get to, the meat and potatoes of our little video cast, stream, podcast with video, whatever you want to call it. What was I going to say?
You have a good.
But my short memory sucks.
You missed the joke.
Yeah, I know. No, I had it in my head there. It was on the tip of my, what are these old geezers talking about? What was I talking about? We were just talking about 7-Eleven.
7-Eleven, the service, and
Oh, my perspective is that I'm an adult. If I really need some help or I want something, I will go and ask you. I'm perfectly
I know.
capable of saying, "Excuse me, could you tell me where the good coffee is? The really
Yeah.
good stuff, the
Yeah.
stuff from Jamaica. Could you
Yeah.
please?" Then I want help, but I don't want to know their promotions. I don't want to know all that bullshit. They don't have to. Sir, do you know that we have a 3-pack of jockey underwear for sale for 199 baht?
I'm with you. Last week, I guess maybe just America uses top sheets that we're used to on our bedding.
Not just America. They use them
Okay.
here.
All right.
But
It's very difficult to find. So I won't name the store.
okay, well you can if you want.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Index Living Mall.
What do you expect? It's Index.
What do I know? I'm new here. So
I know.
I'm walking around.
Don't remind me.
I'm walking around here. I just say fuck off in fucking time. No, I'm kidding. So I'm in Index Living and I'm walking around and I needed some more pillowcases. I bled on one. I can't get it out. Well, I got a mosquito bite and
Sure, you didn't
Anyway, so
put it between your legs or something?
so I find these sheets and I go, you sell flat sheets here? Oh yes. So I said, oh thank you, and I'm walking around and then another sales girl sees me and I'm looking at something and she starts following me
Oh, I hate that.
because she wants the commission.
Right, of course. I always tell them to
So,
fuck off.
I just
I do.
That's why I asked you, how do you say fuck off in Thai? No.
You
So-
sound-
No, I'm kidding. I
You
was
know,
kidding.
if you
So
wanna be
I'm
halfway nice,
walking,
there's a way you
so
can
I
say
start fucking doing circles in the store. before
Making her
I walk
follow
the
you.
fuck
You
in.
know what
I
you
just
do? You
fucking-
really want to mess with them?
Yeah.
You walk like 5 feet forward and they start following you, and then you turn around real quick and start walking right back at them.
Yeah, I did. I said, watch this. I start walking around circles and she didn't give a shit.
No, because they want that,
They want that commission.
I understand.
I get it,
Listen,
I get it, and I'm
they-
fine with
you
that.
know, they just want.
The other thing akin to that, Americans aren't used to having the check laid there and then having the server
Like, wait for it.
wait for it. I said, we got some math to do here, some arithmetic to chip
Well,
in
yeah,
first,
sometimes you do, but like I always just tell them,
Yeah.
really, you can say it
I
to them
do.
nicely, like,
I do.
you just tell them you need to wait a few seconds.
I know.
You can
Yeah.
tell them that in Thai.
Yeah.
You learn that, and then you can be polite about it. I mean, although there are times, like I said, when people are constantly, say, what about this one have superpower?
Yeah.
You hear that kind of stuff. Oh, this one has superpower, extra special,
Happened
but
with a cable.
pang mak na. And I'll be like, yeah, it's $3.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's expensive. Yeah, okay. But like, I don't need you to help me with it. If I want something, I'll ask. A couple, I don't know, a month or so ago, I bought the little earphone
Oh,
things
sure.
I told you about. I only bought them because they were like, I thought they were 490 baht, but I think they were 350 is what they ended up being. And I didn't know anything about them, so I tell the guy, hey, come here. Which one of these is the best one? No, he didn't
The
tell
most
me the most.
expensive.
No, he didn't
No.
tell me the most expensive.
Really?
He showed me one. He goes, this one is probably the loudest and is the best out of all of them. I said, okay, cool, sold, boom, right? Now I asked him for his help. He didn't come over
I know,
and badger
I
me
know.
and go, sir, today is special. We have coffee cake. Coffee cake? This is a computer site. Yes, sir, we give you a coffee cake if you buy iPhone. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of
Yeah,
thing. I
I
didn't
know,
get
I
any of
know.
that. They just,
I
you
know.
know, they were
I
like,
it's funny. You've been here for so long, and you still see some of the things that I don't know if I'm getting scammed on, or you know,
Yeah.
is this for? I had to buy a recharging cable, and I said, "What's a good one?" Well, they, of course, what did they do?
where'd
They
you go?
Oh, to a shack. You
Yeah,
know.
like a little phone place.
Yeah, yeah.
They're just giving you the
The most
Chinese
expensive
ones.
one.
No, but
They're
they're
all
giving
the
you the
same.
little Chinese ones. And the place that I go, and he knows I know, and he just goes, "Oh, this one is the good one. This one is 900 baht." I'm like, 900 baht. Like an original one's like 1,200.
That's what I
This
told
one
her.
original. I'm like,
No,
okay.
it-
So for me, I either buy like now. I haven't bought any of the wire ones only because. When you have the wired ones, you know, if you put them in your pocket all the time, they end up going bad, and mine has gone bad. And so I don't mind the headphone ones, but the wireless ones, but they do not last more than a couple of
The
hours.
fidelity is.
I don't give a shit about that, Johno. I
No.
know you're all into that shit,
No,
but like for
I
me,
don't, I don't use them except for music or speaking on the phone.
okay, all right. Well, with that, we have a nice little segue. Need to put my glasses on.
Surprised you remember you wore glasses.
Yeah, I know, huh? Mr. Longhorns wants a view of your bedroom for some reason. I don't know why, but he wants another look at that great view in the bedroom.
There's so much
That
smog,
scares me.
So much smog out there. There ain't much of a view today.
Okay, it's 84 degrees today here in Bangkok at 10:17. This is a couple minutes before the stream started. The low today was 78. High today will be 93. Winds are south-southeast, 5 miles an hour. Humidity 68% and 0% chance of rain. Now, you think Bangkok's all Wi-Fi or what the deal is, but maybe I should put on my 4G as a backup. Let me see if I can do that real quick. 1 second, gentlemen's. Gentlemen's?
Go ahead, do an intro. I'll be back.
Well, thank you very much. He's got to smoke a cigarette, which, you know.
Hey, I need a hobby.
Yeah, you do. He does need a hobby
I
now.
got a hobby. It's smoking.
Yeah, okay. Great hobby. So today, on today's little gathering, Johno and I are going to talk about a number of things. Basically, how things have changed here in Thailand for him, what he thinks about, you know, his current situation and what's he going to do in the future, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. You know, we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about Iran, of course, or Iran. You know, I did get a message from the embassy today. What else? I don't know. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. All kinds of stuff. Thank you very much, Richard. Appreciate it. Should we sneak into his bedroom? I don't think I want to. Huh?
What?
I said, should we sneak into his bedroom? And I said, I don't think I want to. Oh, who's that guy on the left? Miles Davis?
Both,
No.
yeah.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Johno is a big jazz fan. Isn't that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Isn't that correct?
Yes, it is.
You are a jazz fan. Admit it!
Admit it. I am. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'm not too into jazz, but, you know, I'll listen to anything.
That's why I had no music on when you came in.
Well,
What is that?
listen,
shit?
you can't, seriously, you can't put anything on YouTube and expect to make any money if there's music in the background. Yeah, it's just ridiculous now.
Yeah.
And I definitely can't put a soundtrack. There's some jazz I like, but, you know, but I can't put any soundtracks or anything like that in the background, which kind of sucks. But, you know, we'll get over it. We'll get through it. So before we get into, you know, the news kind of stuff, Johno, how long you been here now?
Just under 6 months.
Just under 6 months. All right. And how are you feeling about Thailand?
Yeah, as well as I might have thought I was prepared. I knew there was things that I couldn't be prepared for.
Like what?
Well, I thought
Jump right in there.
No, it's okay. I thought I was take a Thai language course by now, and I conveniently talk myself out of that.
So you're apathetic about learning Thai.
I would love to learn it, but I don't have enough commitment. I know that.
So you're too lazy.
I am a little bit lazy.
I understand.
And you know, so there's that issue about that. I thought I would have been a little more mobile.
Well, that's on you,
It is.
actually. Because I got to ask you this: have you been anywhere aside from before when you? Now, Johno used to have a Thai wife many moons ago, and you visited here before.
Yes.
Which is why you wanted to. One of the reasons why you thought you want to live here. But have you been anywhere outside of your neighborhood aside from coming to see me? And maybe a few other places. Have you been anywhere out of the city, outside of Bangkok since you've been here?
No, not outside of Bangkok.
And really not even outside of this area?
No, I venture down a stop or two. Define neighborhood.
Well,
counselor.
I mean, have you gone anywhere? Like, have you gone to say near Khao San? Have you gone?
I can't. I have no desire.
Have you been to? Well, I'll ask you this: have you been to Nana? Have you been to Pat Pong? Have you been to the World Trade? Former where?
Where have I been?
Yeah.
It's easier than you to ask me where. I took a trip down to Ari.
To where? Soy Ari?
No, Ari, way down.
Yeah, it's
Ari.
Ari, yeah.
Ari.
It's the Ari station.
Yeah.
Ari.
And I walk around there. Of course, I've been to the markets, the night market.
Chatuchak?
I'm sorry?
Have you been to Chatuchak?
Oh, sure. A few times. Since
You've been here?
Oh,
okay,
sure.
okay.
A few times
Okay.
I've been to the...
You just haven't gone out of Bangkok.
No, I don't really have desire to.
Mr. Mitch says that's like foreplay without sex.
Yeah, I didn't move here for the nightlife scene.
No, he's not talking about that.
Yeah.
He's talking about that, like there are a lot of places to see, but you could be traveling around,
I'm still trying to figure out my password on my email here, man. I'm kidding. But no, I'm just saying, there's a certain comfort level about the area I chose to live, and
right.
Not everybody might say, "Oh, it's such a gentrified area." It's okay. I
wouldn't even think that. That's not what I think about this area. I mean, I think it's a decent area. Mm-hmm. It's you're a little bit outside of some things, mm-hmm. Like you're not close to Nana, but yet you can jump on a. You can jump on the SkyTrain. You can be right down there. You can get down to Siam Square. You can go to a lot of places because you're fairly close to the SkyTrain.
Fairly 4-minute walk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
one of the things is that I did a lot on my 5 trips out here before. Mm. I did the temple thing and all that, and I don't. The river cruise and.
Listen, you've seen one temple for the most part.
Thank you.
You've seen.
They're like redwoods,
seen them all.
Man.
I mean, there's some different ones and some great ones. Yeah. Okay, yeah. This is beautiful. But after an hour or so,
we haven't figured that out.
Yeah, well, exactly. Longhorn said he stayed in Prakanong. It's far enough away, but still close. And that's true.
It's a great area.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I feel, except I'm a little farther out. But if you take the boat, for me, if I take the boat, then it's very simple for me to get around. I mean, that's how I got here today. I jumped on the boat, which for the first 2 stops was pleasant because there was nobody there on the boat. But after about 2 or 3 stops, then it was like it was packed, and I felt like a sardine.
I felt that.
But whatever. So
Plus, I had respiratory problems like 2 days after that too. For 2 days.
Really?
Yes, I did.
Wear a mask.
Didn't think of that,
I've started to see people dressed in all black, just like the Hong Kongers. I'm serious. I've seen like 3 people that were completely in black with a black mask. So that either they think it's like style, or or it's because of Hong Kong. I don't know what it is. So but like right now, what when you came over, you had a certain perception about living here. What about now? It's been 5 months. What's your perception now?
It's not too far different because I'm still the same person. I'm still the same antisocial type person here that I would be at home, which is fine. I'm much of a loner in a sense, and I've fallen into a routine here where I either go out early morning, where it's 2 degrees, or 2 degrees cooler,
Uh-huh.
or wait till the evening. Not doing as much photography as I
Should.
expected, or should. I don't know what should means. But
Yeah, you haven't
it's
showed me the studio stuff.
Well,
We'll have to take a little
there's
tour.
There's just nothing out there right now.
It's
but-
not in the bedroom, is it?
Yeah.
The studio's set up in the bedroom. Isn't
what do you
that
think?
isn't that convenient, Johno?
Yeah, but no, I have to store it somewhere. I don't know.
Longhorns wants to know if you've had your annual STD blood test.
Weekly or annual?
He says annual.
I don't need to have one. I really don't.
Johno is celibate.
Yeah, in a way, yeah, man.
In a way.
In a way. That's a
In a
nice
way.
word for saying, none. You can't get none, haven't had none.
But that's not true, John.
No, it isn't, and I don't want people to get the idea that many expats come here for
We're in conservative Thailand, Johno. We don't need to talk about your sexual proclivities
No, I know.
and your
I know.
life.
I don't bring it up.
Okay.
Okay.
didn't-
So no,
somebody
the
else
other,
brought it up,
Other
not me.
perception is that I didn't think I would have such a result of eating spicy Thai food. on a
Oh,
regular
that's right.
basis,
That's right.
You know.
As I said, Jono's stomach and my stomach have not been real good lately, although my stomach has gotten better. I was thinking, oh, maybe I have an ulcer or something, and then like another day or two went by, and my stomach is better. It's still a little like something still doesn't feel good in it, but it's about 90% back right now. So, but Jono, basically tell everybody about your digestive problems.
Oh, thank you for bringing that one up.
You're the one who brought it up.
I like spicy food. I'm not one of those guys that will eat habaneros, on the dare and shit like that. But I like my Thai chilies on my food.
Right.
And I found out even the smallest amount, a half a Thai chili, just isn't good for me on a daily basis. Let's say. I'd forgotten that when I would have spicy food at home, it would be a 1 or 2 day hangover from it.
What do you mean hangover?
Exit problems and things like that, and stomach problems. And
You got the exit visas one too many times.
no, but then I found out that I can't stomach that stuff every day.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not eating spicy food now, but I did tell you that the other day I had like a little match head, that little bit that broke off of that chip. And it was very spicy,
Oh, yeah.
but it didn't affect my stomach. Now maybe a whole chip would affect my stomach, but my mouth was really hot. It was really, really spicy, but it was manageable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I could eat it. I don't know. But right now my stomach is still feeling a little worse for the wear.
Yeah.
So hopefully that'll come together. Hey, I don't know if you know, but the bot now is starting to slowly go back up. It's been going down. It was beneath 30. I don't know, a week ago or so. And now it's up to about, right before I came on, it was 30.32. Then it went down to 30.2664. Who knows where it's going to end up? But if it could, I'd be happy for it to hit 31 or 32 just to see it.
Sure.
That would be really nice. But how has that affected you here?
Well,
I mean, besides obvious reasons.
obviously, the exchange rate.
Yeah.
It's.
But I mean, does it mean any changes in how you live your life and how you
A little
figured
bit.
you'd be able to?
Sure. The uncertainty that, luckily, I have a decent cushion for it, but the uncertainty of it going to 28 and 27, that's money they take right out of my pocket.
That's
because I'm
huge, yeah.
Paid in USD. And for those of you that remember or look at the charts, 12 years ago it was 34, 35. And that's when I decided I was going to move here. And I based things on that.
On that, yeah.
Not on the bot going to 30, which is 12%. So 12% is a good chunk of money from the bottom line. So it's affected me. It's affected anybody that's come over and has to exchange money. But in a sense, it means okay. So I don't go to Starbucks as often and stuff.
Right,
for
right.
me,
Small changes.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's not a big thing.
Yeah, well, I think we're in an interesting time now in the world. And I don't know, I don't necessarily mean it's interesting in the good sense. Ah, yes. I don't mean it's interesting in a good sense. I mean, look at all the stuff going on. You got arguably the most powerful leader in the world impeached, and yet the U.S. government can't agree on how to proceed. You got Brexit. You got Iran now. You got the trade wars with China, the trade talks with China. You got all the problems with China, the intellectual property problems, the problems they have with other countries, like Vietnam and the Philippines and Australia even. You have all these things going on, and then you have the fundamentalists in the Middle East who, they just want to kill you because you don't believe in their religion. And then, I mean, it's just ridiculous. How, I still don't get it. How do you, well, I don't know, because I'm sure they could turn it around and say, well, Trump has killed, thousands of people. Or Obama killed thousands of people. What's the difference? Now we have a guy who kills, 400 or 500 people, and then you assassinate him. I got news for you. You know what? I've come to the conclusion that no matter what, there's going to be violence. There's going to be power struggles. There's going to be bad people who are in power who do bad things. There's no way around it. And you got one choice, and that's to fight. What are you going to do? You got to fight back in some way. You have to find a way, whether it's physically or financially or whatever. People have to fight back because this shit's getting out of hand. I'm like thinking to myself, what would happen if the U.S. had a civil war?
Not exactly.
Can you imagine that?
No.
Think about that.
Some people can.
I mean, I imagine a number of things because I want to imagine the worst case scenario. Now, I don't really give a shit because at the end of the day, I won't say I've lived a full life yet, but, another 20 years, 25 years, I'm like, hey, I've had a long life now. I'm okay. You guys want to kill me, go ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
what kind of world are we leaving behind, though?
I mean, listen, it's got to the point now where it's like, you know what? One person, it's a hard thing. I've said it before. It's hard to fathom one person really making all that much of a difference. I mean, okay, you got the Bill Gates, you got the Steve Jobs, you got, you got all these people who they can do things, but money is not going to solve everything. As unfortunate as that may sound, money doesn't solve everything. You still got all the ethical and moral and,
just added to that, people said, you're moving to a country that is under military rule.
Yeah.
And, I'm not up on all this stuff and everything, and I was told that
you're basically oblivious.
Life isn't going, there's not submachine guns at
no,
the
but
BTF station.
The one thing I will say is that the way to look at it, I think, and the reason that you don't look at it this way is because you're older. I'm older. We don't look at it this way. Well, what about the people who are 20 years old who look to the future to see how is their government going to be run? And I put up that article the other day about Thailand and their relationship with the United States and how it's changing their relationship. Basically, their friendships, their allies one of their key allies is China, and less so with the United States. And how is it going to affect, and how much democracy is there really here? And when you think about it from the classical, freedom and all the things that you get with supposed democracy, this place is not a democratic place, and they don't want it to be.
No, it isn't.
Well, the government doesn't want it to
Right.
be. There are people who, listen, most people are apathetic. And this is part of the problem with certain issues. People are apathetic. I mean, listen, how many people as a percentage of the world care about what's going on in some country in Africa?
they have their own problems.
Same thing goes with Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And many other places. How many people really care? Listen, I mean, like Longhorns, basically he cares. He's home. He has a meal. He's okay. You know, I mean, that's what most people give a shit about.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, are we gonna get up tomorrow and go and do this and go do that? Well, as long as you're unaffected, largely unaffected, it's when the thing comes into your neighborhood, whenever the issue, the conflict, whatever it might be, the problem is right in front of you and is rearing its ugly head. That's when people start to say, hey, wait a minute. And I just saw before we went on that what if we care? It doesn't change anything. Well, I can tell you something, Longhorns. I understand that, and I do believe that to a certain extent. However, I got to say, if everybody thinks that way, then there's no chance of anything changing. None. Yeah, people are sleepwalking. That's kind of what it is. People are sleepwalking. I just saw before that Iran sent a bunch of missiles or bombed the Iraqi base that is used by the United States troops or some of the troops. And so now we've got another situation going on. So hear me out. All eyes right now, where are they? They're on Iran, the United States.
Right.
China, Russia, North Korea, nobody's really listening to them. What happened in North Korea and their Christmas gift?
Yeah.
We never got one. Well, we still might get one.
Yeah.
But what's happened with that? No, it goes down. As I say, it's a cycle. It's like, you know, what's on the hot plate at the moment.
Yeah.
And that's what
It
you
all
get.
passes.
Everything else is just leftovers. You know, I've never thought about it that way, but that's true. You get your fresh food just made. Boom, you got. By the way, I didn't have a nice bacon and cheese omelet waiting for me.
Well, you know why?
You know?
I talked to Hans. I talked to somebody we know, and he said, "Don't feed him, man. He's supposed to be fasting." I said, "Okay." I'm kidding.
Well,
I was going to do it.
You know, since my stomach has been hurting, I like to keep a little something in my stomach just because.
Me too. I got bacon and eggs.
No, that's all right. No, I don't trust your cooking. I'm sorry.
Fuck. I went to school for this shit. You kidding?
I don't know. I mean, you know, if you guys want to watch him cook me
No, they're not going to watch me do shit.
Okay, I cry daily about Africa, Australia fires, Hong Kong, etc. What changes? Just me being miserable because I can't change anything. Well, listen. You know, it's like you see some kid on the street. Well, I'll give you an example. And you know, when Chucky and I were in Bangladesh, we saw the lady with the kid. I forget the name, encephalitis or whatever it is of the brain. It's a swelling of the brain. Fluid goes in the brain. It doesn't drain. And I saw that first night, and I was talking to Chucky about it. Chucky's like, well, you know, of course it bothers me, but I can't do anything about it, and blah, blah, blah. I said, you know, I bet you we could do something about it. And we went back, and you remember that?
I do.
We walked back, and we went to the lady, and we gave her a little money, but we directed her to the hospital that could give her help. And she was already going there. And basically exactly what the doctor told me, which is probably nothing can be done, but maybe they can make her more comfortable. Uh-huh. And so, you know, we went back, and I felt good because, you know what, at least I tried.
Yeah.
Now, if she went there and they, like, cured the kid, and the kid got 100%, man, I'd feel great. Sure. And, you know, so am I doing it for me? No, I'm doing it for the kid, but it's a good deed.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like that statement I said, I feel so much better since I've given up hope. You know, when people give up hope in their government, you know, it's a fast track to hell, because that's kind of what the big government wants us to do, is to be...
Well, the government in Hong Kong has the people have given up on their government.
Yeah.
They don't get any, they don't get any responses to their requests. Yeah. And you know, it's not only there. That's just the only reason that happens to be in the news at all is because it's not Africa and worthless information for a lot of people who don't really care. Like I always say, they care more about Kim Kardashian and her ass. Absolutely. They care more about what this football player did or said. All that shit's unimportant when you think about it. Yeah, there's only a few important issues. There's maybe a dozen really important issues.
To an American, is my gas going to cost me more? Is my Starbucks going to cost me more? Can I still get this? You know? And until it hits them at that level, they don't.
Yeah, most people don't care.
You know? You know.
And then the point is sometimes, like, like what Longhorns is saying. Well, what good is caring going to do? And sometimes it will do some good, but many times it won't.
Well, it kind of nourishes your soul a little bit.
So basically, it's to make you feel better.
Yeah, you know.
But what about the purpose of your goal?
Well,
achieving that goal.
I'm not going to take it on.
Caring about it means nothing. If people want to help, get over there and do something. If something arises in my face that I can help, I'll help and risk my life. Otherwise, I have my own issues now. Yeah, exactly. Well,
that's true.
And that's,
I couldn't agree more.
I agree with that 100%.
It used to be.
If I can help people, I usually will.
Yeah,
and I mean,
it was called enlistment.
Here's the thing. I mean, think about it. There was a time back when I don't know how old I was, about 25. And this guy, he was a rough neighbor. He was in Pomona. This girl I knew had gotten her check. She had a check coming to her, and she wanted to go to the liquor store to cash.
Nice. I remember those days.
Right? So she goes to the liquor store, cashes it, starts coming back, and I saw her. Hey, how you doing? Just walk by, and all of a sudden I hear these screams. And this dude had grabbed her bag and took her money.
Yeah.
Now, I knew the girl had like 3 kids. She needed that money. So, like an idiot, I ran after the guy.
Shit.
And I trapped him, like there were some apartments, and there's like a door that you open up, and then there's another, like a glass door. Then there's another one, like 5 feet away, it's like a little dual door passway. And so he got in, and then I guess the second door was locked, and nobody was going to open the door. He didn't have a key. He didn't live there. He was just trying to escape because he knew I was running after him. So I trapped him inside the thing, and then he came out, and I kicked him, gave him a couple shots, and he dropped the bag, and I grabbed her bag and took it away. And then he was screaming at me he was going to kill me and all these things. But, I did it not because, like, I was thinking to myself, oh, I'm such a badass, I'm going to show him. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. I was just like, man, that's not cool, Yeah. And I didn't think to myself, hey, this guy could stab me. He could shoot me. What an idiot. Now I don't know if I would do it because I probably can't run.
Yeah.
But at the time, I thought, well, that's what you do. Mm-hmm. You help somebody,
Mm-hmm.
And, there are times when you can try to help. Listen, I mean, look at the guy Bang in Oi in Klang Tui. Bang, he's passed away years ago now. And, people tried to help him. We tried to help him. And I think we did, unfortunately,
It's just,
we're, listen.
Yeah,
You're going to die, you're going to die. Things are going to change, they're going to change. You can only do so much. So,
I had a friend that was born with muscular dystrophy, and we ended up working together for a few years. And I always, I was a young kid, and I thought I always felt sorry for him, which I shouldn't have done, because he was a strong individual.
Uh-huh.
But he told me one time we were talking about something, he said, John, I can't save everybody. And I thought, oh my God, what a profound statement.
Yeah, I know.
For him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Dealt a shit hand,
But he probably looks like it. Hey, it's like instead of having a big nose, he has. He can think of it as, hey, I got muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, that's a trivializing. I don't mean to trivialize.
Yeah.
Trivialize.
No.
Trivialize.
Right. But it was no big deal to him. He just thought he was normal. He said, hey, I can't help everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No,
you folded it up.
Well, it's because you don't need to see my notes.
Well,
these are top secret, buddy.
Yeah. Your advanced team.
No, you know what? The one thing that I did notice, and this is before the rockets or missiles were fired at the base there. I guess last night, early morning in Iraq. But I got a message from the U.S. Embassy here in Bangkok. If you don't know, if you're overseas, they do have a program, which, I'm always hesitant about it, but I have enrolled in it. It's called the STEP program. It's the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It's called the STEP. That's what it's called, not the STEP program. And they will send you, anytime there's possible conflict zones or danger zones for Americans, they will send you an email. And they have your address on file. So, if something happens, you just go to the website, the U.S. Embassy in Thailand, And you can sign up for it right there. But there are recommendations right now. Another one?
No, the half of the other.
Oh, okay.
Dad.
Wow. I get that from my kid now. Yeah, this morning my wife was trying to put peanut butter in his oatmeal. And she told him, she said, no, she said, put the peanut butter, she said, get the water in, and then I'll put the peanut butter on and we'll microwave it. And he's like, no, I don't want to do it that way. And she's like, yeah, do it that way. And he's like, no, that's not how I do it. The kid eats oatmeal, peanut butter, and fruit for breakfast every day. So he's got it down. He's got it wired. What he does is he puts all the ingredients in. They're dry. Everything's dry, right? And then he puts the hot water in. Well, she's telling him to put it in the microwave. He got pissed off, and he's like, no, I don't want to do it that way. It's just, you know. Johno smokes his cigarettes and complains about his smoking habit, but then he goes out and smokes a half a cigarette, and then he's got to smoke another one because he's jonesing. Cigarettes. Kids, don't ever get started with cigarettes. They're a bad habit. Anyway, in this message it says, for Americans to be aware of their surroundings, stay alert in tourist areas. I can only imagine what tourist areas in the United States, what target areas they might be. That's pretty scary when you think about it. Report any suspicious activities to the police. Here in Thailand, the Royal Thai Police, 191. Review your personal security plans. I need to do that. Have travel documents up to date and easily accessible. Those are the recommendations by the U.S. Embassy. Guess I won't freak Middle East restaurants. Well, I don't know that Middle Eastern restaurants would be the place that they're going to do anything, to be honest, because it brings problems to that particular restaurant. Wouldn't it be somewhere more like a bar in Nana or someplace like that? New York City, large cities are on edge. Well, yeah, I mean, we got no time for this right versus left BS. It's time to unite in the United States, get your act together, stop arguing. You can argue about it later. Stop playing games. You know, you're so scared of losing your grip on Washington that you want to spend all your time fighting with the other side. That's ridiculous. For the people, what is it? By the people, for the people. Oh, well, then it can get the fuck out then. No, they have the right to protest peacefully. I don't know what the laws are in each particular area. I have to say, I saw a guy that was photographing the police in New York at some demonstration. And he was saying, I have the right to do this. I have the right. I have the freedom to do. Well, in New York, you need to have a press card to be out photographing certain things. So I was like, dude, you're treading on thin water with that one, you know. In New York, yeah, you need a press pass to be able to go in and do that, which...
I told you that story about me.
Yeah, well, you can tell the people.
Well, there was...
the people.
The people need to know.
I am not a crook.
I'm not an adventure hunter with a camera or anything, but there was a protest going down during the elections, or whatever the hell it was. So I said, hey, let's go out and shoot. And so I go down there and, I want to play, and a cop turned to me and he said, put the camera, turn that fucking camera off, just like that. And I said, fine, that's fine. And I wanted to think, no, I have my right, but
that's not how you approach it.
Well, I didn't really care that much about shooting this thing to get hassled by a cop. And then a photographer said, you did the right thing because even though you have a right, you'd have to be telling that to the judge, but you disobeyed an order.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's true.
Well,
but
I don't know either, but it was enough
because
for me to keep my ass out.
just because a cop orders you to do something doesn't mean you necessarily have
And
to
it
do
could be
it.
the wrong thing to do, but I disobeyed an order, and I could have gotten arrested, actually. That's what he told me. Well, I mean,
I don't know because I haven't shot in the
Oakland.
United States to where
Yeah.
I've really never shot anything of consequence in the United States.
Well, I think he was just being a prick, and he might have been looking out for me genuinely.
I doubt it.
Well, probably not.
Seriously, I doubt it.
No, I doubt it, but I had it. I just turned around, put my tail between my legs, went home. I didn't need to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just going to be a little whim. So no, I don't. One time he said, freedom of speech does not include volume.
Does not include volume.
In other words, you can't go into a crowded movie theater and scream fire. It doesn't. It doesn't transcend. You can say anything about anybody without repercussions either.
Well, yeah, it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Of course.
I wonder if anybody ever ran into a crowded firehouse and yelled movie. I'll write it down. You can figure that one out later.
I don't. It doesn't. It's.
Run into a
it's-
crowded
it's-
movie house and yell fire.
I understand. But
yeah.
you said.
It was funnier when Carlin did it.
Yeah, that I would understand. Carlin, I might
He said
understand.
it the same fucking way I do.
Johno, your timing is off, man. I don't know, but it just fell flat. I hit the wall. I mean,
All right.
really.
Anyway.
Anyway, we wanted to continue our discussion about, so your reality and perception have pretty well lined up here, but that's because you've taken some trips here
Sure.
before you came over. You weren't one of these guys who made one trip and then you decided because
no.
you want to go,
That's it. No.
marry some chick that is in wherever.
No, how many people have come back from Hawaii and said, oh, I'm moving to Hawaii. Do some research, man.
Well, that I've done that several times now, where I went someplace and I went, "Man, this place is cool," and then I start researching it, and then I go, "You know what? This place won't ever work."
I was
unless you're a native. There's a reason why a lot of people stick around because
Right.
Things are not easy sometimes when you
Right.
go abroad.
Yeah. Well, another thing here.
You have a pretty mellow life here, though.
I do.
Aside
I
from the
have.
Chili's.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I had to correct. One of the things, but the other thing is, I talked about that. I expected to do a little more cooking here. I like to cook,
Right.
but it's like cooking on a camp stove on this setup over here to me.
You can't get around that?
I do, but it's not worth it to me anymore. Even when I cooked at home and I had a full array.
Yeah, but you have if you do the leftover thing,
I don't like leftovers, man.
Ugh.
No, I don't.
All right, listen. You know what? I got an idea before we get into the next. Until we get into our next segment. Oh man, I can feel the dirty air.
I bet. It's horrible. I can't see shit out there.
We need to give Longhorns a little look at your love shack. Hang on a second. Let me.
I'll stay out here so I don't have to.
No, no. You need to answer the questions.
Oh,
What are you talking
fuck.
about? Come on, man. All right, let's take a look here. He's got a little living room here. Nice. He's got a little jazz thing here. How come you ain't got any of my photos up here? He's laughing. I'm serious. Look at this.
I'm trying to
So what? Do you put the sheet over the bed and they lay on the bed and how does it work, Johno?
It's just the background. I bought some new backgrounds. I'm trying to get wrinkles out of them without having to apply an iron.
I wouldn't worry about it, honestly.
Yeah. No, you don't see it, but rather than fold them up.
Knock on the door. Tin roof rusted. What? And have another 9/11 events in Americans would year. Sorry.
Some people say
As much as John, we want to hear what Johno has to say. He's got a great view. He has to listen to the mosque every day.
That's
The
lovely.
sounds coming from the mosque.
He does Shenandoah at 11:30 if you're sticking around.
If you look over to the center left of this doodad.
Right. Anyway.
Let's go over here a little bit. Look at that.
Normally, you would see all those buildings back there as clear as a
Yeah,
bell.
but it's really,
It's-
really smoggy
It,
today.
it was worse this morning.
Lots of pollution. You can see the
Oh.
pollution in the air.
You can taste it.
Yeah, you can taste it. You can smell it. It's just nasty.
Well, that's another thing that I didn't think was going to be such an issue for me, and I find out it's much more frequent.
Yeah, you
thing
could
for-
always move to the beach somewhere.
True,
Some beach,
true.
you know.
Yeah. True.
All right,
True.
so then he's got this view over here. Pretty nice. We got down here.
Little food court down there with about 100+ stalls, and that soy there is a very heavily Japanese. Very many Japanese secondhand stores and Japanese restaurants. And
What, have you been back to that place where you had that beer that day?
oh,
Remember
yeah.
that little Japanese joint?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What did we eat there? Oh, that karagi chicken.
Karagi chicken myself. That's me. Sorry.
No need to smoke cigs. Just go out on the balcony. Well, his balcony is to the right.
Yeah.
We should show him that.
Sure.
The joint.
Okay, hold your breath, Scott. We're going outside.
This is it right here.
Scott won't go much further than right here.
No, I'll go out, but I don't particularly like it. It's just
That's all right. I don't blame you. I've gotten used to it. The first time I came out here, I was a little apprehensive about getting too close to the edge, but now
you know, it's hard for me to forget that feeling of
falling.
falling.
You know, it wasn't the fall that hurt you, though. It's that fucking sudden stop.
Yeah.
But
I thought I could
did
fly.
want to say one thing about construction of condos here. I count 12 condo projects just in my
Really?
view. 12. And that's not including 2 big buildings that have just been completed way down a little past on New. In fact, before a station I've never been to. But it's and this is one area.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as the construction, it's
That's
crazy.
nice. Yeah, well, this is a
Well,
this is a high-end area.
Well, one of the things I was trying to explain to a
Well, we're not anywhere near Loxie.
anywhere near,
Loxie.
Oh, but I tried to say, I think Thailand is
Unfortunately.
seeing a bigger middle class. That I said, you don't think so?
No.
Not at all. You don't see.
No, I think that what's happening is that the I don't know. I guess.
Well,
I think there's a bigger middle class. No, I think there's a higher separation, but I think that the lower middle class, there are a little bit more of the lower middle class and upper middle class. I think if you're talking about like true middle class people,
I don't. I didn't want to be subdivided.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm.
Well, I'm just saying.
Picking
I
hairs
think
or
maybe
whatever.
that condo was built for higher. At one time, it was built for HISO ties and expats
Which
that
one?
can afford it. Anyone,
Oh.
And yet, I have to think that these.
These are not places HISO ties would
No,
live.
I'm just saying.
I can tell you right now.
No, I'm just saying. Now they
None of
used
these.
to be. Now I think maybe now there's a class of ties that can. Spend more money, and it used to be 12, 15 years
Well,
ago.
yeah, it might be.
IT,
True.
you can come over and work an IT job.
Yeah,
and live
listen,
fine.
my buddy used to work in IT, and he's certified in all these different
Sure,
things,
sure.
and he basically got pushed out of a job because the ties finally
learned
became
it.
capable of
Exactly.
doing what they needed to do. So now he's like a
Sure.
customer service
Well, that-
rep or whatever. But
That's what I'm saying. How difficult it is to take a Thai job away now. It used to be a little better in IT, but they've caught up.
yeah,
So, I mean, teaching is the last bastion of
I think the
getting it.
overall cost of living has gone up here.
Oh, they feel it
quite a
too.
bit, and I think that there's not a large middle class, and that's why the people who were on the edge, who are just starting to make it, I think they're having a harder time now.
Sure.
And they're feeling the brunt of it. But who knows what's going to happen? I don't know, man. I mean, the world's changing all the time.
It is. It is.
So that's his little. This is the little photography setup. Right. Got the monkey.
Yeah, it's a light.
It's the monkey. What is
Yeah.
that?
What?
Oh, he's got a little building thing or whatever. I don't know. Well, you got this place set up. If you're gonna move, I'd move to the beach, but I don't know
I'm not a
why.
beach guy.
I don't know about. You're gonna give up some things one way or the other, but you
Oh,
may
yeah.
get other things in return.
I
So
can't live on a goddamn island.
no, but you don't want to live where you got to listen to the mosque every day
No,
either. He's complaining about the mosque and about what's.
Well, not any longer. I know the playlist now. I know right
Yeah.
after Shenandoah comes Old Man River.
Yeah.
You know, so I have a friend who is Iranian, and he said, "Oh, I love that call to prayer. I wish I had it here." I said, "Okay."
You know what? For me, it's not even about that it's the call to prayer. For me, it's
Volume.
just the noise.
Well,
I
that's
don't
why I
like
said
the
free
noise.
speech
And you
shouldn't-
are in a noisy area here. This is noisy.
One thing I'd have to say that I did not expect. I thought that on a upper floor it would be quiet. Quite on the fucking contrary. I hear every ball peen hammer of some kind.
Yeah.
Oh,
We can't listen to jazz. We can't listen to music, Mr. Mitch. I hate to tell you that.
Yeah.
I just can't play music on YouTube anymore. So, all right, let's finish this little shindig here.
And that's it. And then we got the bathroom.
Well, you've seen the bathroom when he gave me a shave. Shall we? This is just his shaving cream alone. He's a mad shaver.
Well,
What is this? Marvis whitening mint? Is that toothpaste? Is it good?
Into it, yeah.
Is it like really
Yeah,
good
no
or something?
sugar and shit in it.
Oh, I didn't even know they had sugar in it.
Yeah. Why do you think it tastes?
Who's
so
this?
fucking-
Charlie Pride?
Huh? Charlie Pride at Art Blakey. I met him in 1982.
I like that photo though.
It's a great photo.
Who took it?
I didn't. I wish I did. I'd spend an hour.
Oh, Mr. Mitch said during the call to prayer, start blasting the jazz.
I would love to. I would love. I want to be a hacker just so I can hack that damn system over there, man.
Yeah.
But oh well, I've gotten used to it. It's not a big deal.
This is the toilet. This is where Johno does his
Frequenting
where his body functions occur. All right, so let's go back here and sit down. Yeah, so it's not a huge place, but it's nice, and I think for one guy, it's big enough. Yeah.
Oh sure.
Plenty big enough. Oops.
I mean, it's I could probably get a cheaper rent and certainly get a higher rent, but this is fine. This is fine.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah. No, it's nice.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, good to go, man. Good to
Did
go.
anybody ever see the back of that shirt?
What, my manscaping
Yeah, I just
shirts?
saw it now.
What does it say? Go ahead, read it.
What? Just turn around. Your balls will thank you.
Manscaped, your balls will... Is that what it says here? Yeah, it says
I
here.
didn't even look at it. It
says here, too.
Yeah.
Manscaped, your balls will thank you. Which, Manscaped has literally saved my balls. I'll say it again. Use the code Malin20 and get 20% off. They've got all kinds of stuff. Ball cream. I'm still using it. The ball cream, I'm going to shave my head. Actually, Johno might shave my head today.
I don't think so.
Or I'll
You have an
shave it.
appointment?
I'll shave it, and he can just get the little spots I
You have an
miss.
appointment? I'm booked today.
Yeah, you're fully booked. That's the other thing is how do you stay busy here, John? Because you can do whatever you want pretty much within reason.
Yeah. It's like anyone else that you ask what filled their 18-hour day, 24-hour day.
Well, what'd you do
it's
yesterday?
Oh, come on now. I don't remember. To be honest, I chatted with a few people. I went down and had
Lunch?
I met a friend down there walking by. I met an Italian man who told me he introduced pizza to Thailand. And I was, really? I said, well, I know a little bit about pizza and things like that. And this guy's, ended up to be a real bullshit artist. So
Now, he was an American. He's an Italian.
no, Italian.
Straight from Italy or Italian
22
American.
years according to him, and I saw a Thai friend walk
Pete's
by.
has been here longer than 22 years. I can tell you that.
No shit. And the more he spoke, the more I realized this guy's full of shit. He said he was in charge of 30 pizza places in Thailand 10 years ago, and I'm like, dude, yeah, whatever. Yeah, and
By the way, Larry wants to know, how old is Johno?
I'm 65 last month.
65.
Old man.
I'll be there soon. Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't believe it. Did I tell you that Starbucks, their coffee prices went up again?
Hello.
I just had to say it for some reason. Larry says for 65 you look good.
Oh, thanks, man. I pass for 64 frequently, Larry. Thank you. My sister, youngest sister.
Very, very dry. Look at that. You got a Bangkok bank hat.
Yeah, I went to again, I do go out. I went to...
You opened a bank account at Bangkok
No, I
Bank.
went to some winter fest.
Oh, I see.
Down there, and we ended up drinking beer with the Bangkok. They hid some beers, so I brought some hidden beers, and we were drinking, and they gave me a hat.
So basically what you do here in your free time is drink.
Yeah.
Drink and hang out at bars.
No, I don't. I really don't. You know that. I don't go to expat bars. Getting back to what I do, I mean, if Scott weren't here, I would, I have to buy groceries and stuff, so I try to make it a 1 hour walk. I don't take a bike or a taxi down to the grocery store. I bring a backpack and...
Shit, I forgot the bag again.
What's
Son
that?
of a bitch, that's the problem with them not giving you the plastic bags.
I know.
I thought I was gonna. Yeah, they charge you extra money for it.
You know, fucking Home Pro doesn't. No, not Home Pro. So, fucking Living Index Mall. They don't even have a fucking bag to buy.
Really?
I said, can I buy? I didn't think I was going there that day.
Yeah.
I got a haircut.
So what'd you put everything in?
Fucking, you know what I told them? Put that shit back.
No, it's Bruce. The bags are not 3 baht, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So
they're not 3 baht. The plastic ones are maybe, but nah, man.
For instance, the high-end gourmet market, the main gourmet market, they were pushing them.
Go to Fresh Mart and get a bag.
Yeah, they're 3 baht.
Some no, but I'm not talking. You can't buy plastic bags anymore.
No, they're not plastic.
No, I understand that. I understand this.
Okay.
We're not talking about plastic bags.
Right.
Because plastic bags have been banned.
Yeah.
They're no longer around. But the bags that they have hanging there,
Yeah.
they're anywhere from 29 to 100 and, what was it, 149 baht for one of the bags. Yeah.
I bring them.
Yeah, well, I try to bring them.
But who the hell knows you're going to go in?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So now, if I want to go, you see, it's a little bit idiotic because think about all the extra energy people spend going, oh, I got to go home and get another bag.
Right.
Get a bag or whatever. Now, I have that little bag that I brought, but I need to get a few things. Shit.
That's from that trip outside.
That felt good, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it felt good.
Yeah,
It's a good thing for the long run,
It is.
but I catch myself every single time I go, I got 6 bags, 8 bags sitting there, and every time I got to buy a new bag.
I know.
I don't want to buy a new bag every time.
I know.
All it's doing is causing more weight, creating more waste.
That's an argument. It used to be.
What are you going to do? Use every single bag?
The original, that they technically in the trade they call them T-shirt bags, like T-shirt, the old ones are getting rid of.
Yeah.
I was called on in '83 to do some work on that first project of the bags coming out. I remember bringing them in, and everybody was crazy about it. And I start thinking, what's the second life of this thing?
Didn't I bring it? Oh, it's right here.
What's the second life of this bag? And it's not good enough to be reused.
They used to do that, Larry. They used to give you the option to buy, you just throw it. It was 1 baht. You put 1 baht, you get a plastic bag.
Yeah.
I always told them to double bag my stuff because I just get 1 bag of stuff and walk across the street with it. So I wanted to double bag, but like today, I thought, oh, I know I need to get a couple of things at the grocery. I need to write them down. You know, butter. I don't know about bread, but you know, there's a couple things I need, and I'm like, I need to go. And then I thought I better bring a bag,
Yeah.
and then I forgot the bag.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. When I was doing this before, they turned it into law, and I was at Max Value, and I had the bag, and she said, you know, January 1st, we won't have bags.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't even buy a paper, you know, one of these. She said, so they want. But for those of you who have not been in Bangkok, they'll put a pack of gum. They used to put a pack of gum at 7-Eleven in a bag.
I mean, they give you 18 straws.
That's what I tell them. I don't want these things.
What do I need 12 straws for you know, three little yogurts or something, you know, yogurt milks.
Yeah, it's you know what? They were a little behind in all the recycle thing, and they're catching up.
I guess that's one way to think about it. Whatever. I mean, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But, you know, it's one of those little things that it's like irritating.
Yeah, it is.
It irritates me sometimes.
But if you go into the higher end malls, they're giving you paper bags for everything still.
Yeah.
I don't want you to think that you're going to walk out with your Cartier watch in your frickin' hand.
No, of course not. They're gonna, you know, the higher end places.
Bags.
No,
Yeah,
this is the plastic bags.
Oh, it's a
single-use plastic bags.
It's
That's
a
what they're called.
nuisance.
You know what's really a nuisance though is that people throw that stuff in the ocean, and they, you know, it gets into the ground, and so it's like they got to find something else. But anyway, there is one big bag you can purchase online that folds up like a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, you know, in Europe for years they had that netting bag that you can literally just put it in. It was a net bag.
Put it in what?
Put it in your pocket and you wouldn't even know it. And I've been looking for that. I better go on Lazada.
We have 7-Eleven here. Yeah, plastic bottles everywhere. But plastic bottles are recyclable.
They are.
We recycle.
Yeah. Somebody said, you know, the water companies aren't in the water selling water business. They're in plastic bottle business.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well.
But
what are you gonna? You know, what's the difference? You know, I mean, what's the option? You know what I mean? Like.
I buy the 3-liter.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, we do that because I don't want to have to buy the, you know, bottles. What I usually do is I'll buy a pack of water. I'll buy like a 12-pack.
Yeah.
And you can get them for like 50 baht or like 40 baht sometimes.
Yeah.
33 baht sometimes.
Yeah.
But you get those, and then what you do is you have all the other big, like I get the 6-liter things, and so you have 10 of those. You go through it, you start going through it. You keep one in the refrigerator, and what happens is when the bottle finishes, you fill up your bottle, or you have a bottle like that, which we have bottles like this too.
Plug for San Francisco.
Oh, he's a San Franciscan. So that brings me to that's a nice segue to the next section here. What's your plans for the future? Got plans to go live back in San Francisco?
Not at all, never. I know never is a fool's word, but if
yes,
I do have to return to America, it will not be the Bay Area. It won't be at all an exciting metropolis city. I just hope my good health holds up. Mm-hmm. I avoid injury, don't fall again. I take a day at a time, like I have. But
you have no plans. I mean, would you be happy, like living for the next 20 years here? You think at this point?
I hope so. Yes.
Yeah.
I have to do it somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, and I might as well do it here. You know.
I don't know why, but okay.
Well.
No, I mean, might as well do it here.
No.
I don't know about that. I understand the allure of here and all that kind of stuff. I do still remember that, but
I chose it just as I chose San Francisco in 1978 to move to.
Damn, you're old.
Yeah, I am.
1978.
I was 23 when I moved there. I had a union card and $1,000.
And you thought you were hot shit, baby. No, I got the union card and big money in my pocket. Let's go.
I had a job in 3 days, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, well, I do remember, you know, when I lived in California, aside from the one time that I had my motorcycle accident, I was out of work for a year, but I was collecting disability. Other than that, every single time I lost a job, I had a job within 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Every time it was, I'd go in, I'd talk to people, sit down, okay, and it was, it wasn't like it was now where I can't even imagine going into an office and applying for a job. Even when I went to work for the Phuket Gazette, I talked to the owner of the company, just sat down with me and had a lunch, and that was how we dealt with each other, and. I'm glad I didn't take that job because Phuket Gazette is basically kaput now. But nowadays it's like you can do it on LinkedIn. I deleted my LinkedIn because I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't want it. I got enough stupid social media.
Well, getting back to this thing, as long as Thailand does not make it any more difficult for me to live here.
You'll be all right.
I'll be fine,
Yeah.
Same shit, different toilet, I mean, I could move to Vietnam. I
hate to put it this way, but it's like shit is shit, whether it's a nice firm shit or diarrhea.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
that's kind of what it is here. It's
I
the same.
still have household duties, and I still have things
You do?
to do. Oh, I still have to do laundry during a day and clean.
I thought you had a chick that does your laundry.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want anybody doing my laundry, really.
You don't want them touching your underwear.
Your underwear, man. No.
Well, speaking of underwear, I've got my Manscaped. I've got my Manscaped. What do they call them? Sweat wicking briefs.
What kind of camera did you shoot?
I also use a Fuji. I have a couple of Fujis. Yes. And, with any luck, I'll have a Fuji, what is it? 50 to 140 millimeter lens quite shortly. So I'll find out about that soon. Does Johno want to give the name of his condo?
That's up to you.
Don't look to me. Nah, we'll say no. He doesn't. It's in the Prakanong area. How much does it run you every month?
$1,000.
Well, bought.
Oh, about 32, 31, 32.
That's with the electric, water.
No,
Okay, all in, how much does it cost you?
I don't know. $1,500 a month.
For electric and water?
Electric and water.
And you got internet?
Yeah.
But that comes with the joint?
No. 20, whatever it is.
You got to pay for that?
Yeah.
How much? You don't know?
Fuck, I pay it. I don't know. $15, $20 maybe.
You got to think in baht.
Baht. I just told you baht, but
you told me baht for. You said 1,500, and I said, "Is that all in for your utilities and stuff?"
Yeah.
Basically.
I don't know. It's like $25 a month, $750 a month for.
Okay, 750 baht.
Baht for I don't know, conversion, but.
Okay, Longhorns will do. Longhorns wants you to send him the name of the place so he can,
Sure.
All right, Larry, take it easy.
Bye, Larry.
Bye, Larry. What was Larry asking you? I forget. Are the single plastic bag manufacturers in Thailand pissed off? No idea.
They probably buy from China, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, which pisses me off.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
Not at this moment.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So
one more word on recycling. When we used to pay the 2% deposit in America in
right.
the 60s. All those bottles got reused, brought back. I remember my dad bringing back cases of empty bottles.
Yeah. I used to bring them back.
Why didn't that work?
I don't know.
The transportation, I guess, back and forth.
Yeah.
But the bottles are reusable.
How about we just use our hand? We just cut, you know what you do under the sink. You just have a sink full of stuff, and you turn it on. If you want orange juice, it comes out. You use your hand and you throw it in your face.
We can put the food in a trough and not use.
Kind of like an elephant or a pig. We could go at it that way. Yeah.
The steak and trough.
Yeah.
Concept where they just put food.
Yeah, I kind of wonder what's going to happen in Thailand.
That's just funny. People always ask me, "So what are your plans today?" I don't. I do what I want. Some days it's just fucking around on a computer.
Well, I wish I could say that for me, but I can't. I mean, I can do that once or twice and get away with it, but then after a while, I'm like, I got this to do, I got that to do. I got people depending on me. It's not like I understand. you know, you're single. You really all you gotta do is worry about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you don't have any clean laundry, you go, I got nothing to do. You know, I'll do my laundry tomorrow, and I'm gonna lay around, you know, in my birthday suit all day or whatever.
Sure. I listen to a lot of music here. I've always, it's always taking up hours of my day.
Yeah.
I play my trumpet.
Are you playing it again?
Well, not as much as I want.
Yeah.
You know.
So we've concluded after our discussion with Johno that he is a little bit lazy. He doesn't really have extra high expectations of himself as opposed when it comes to traveling around Thailand. You don't shoot photos. You don't go out looking for good light nearly as much as you should. And you would prefer to stay inside in your boudoir with some chick photographing her and creating portraits than you would to go outside and take street photography or travel photography or whatever it might, landscape photography. He's not lazy, he's just chilling.
No, I'm not. Thank you, whoever said that.
That's
and
Bruce.
Please don't use the word lazy. Just say not as ambitious as most.
Your ambition has dwindled slightly since you came here. You've started to realize that you don't have to communicate with everybody back in the West every day. You don't have to go places every day. You don't even have, if you don't want, you don't even have to go out and eat every day.
Yeah, no, and I don't. You know,
Who or what is Johno photographing in his room?
People.
We have an idea for a book, but I just can't get into it. We can't reveal this because
we don't want that out.
Yeah, it's a little artsy and a little filthy.
We're still trying to figure out the correct title, so to speak.
I like my title, although what you said with the S, it works well.
I am a consultant on the book.
You have easy to reach goals. That's what Mr. Mitch says.
I've accomplished quite a bit up until now, and I don't have that. I don't need to.
Longhorns wants to know, who is she? He's got multiple model subjects coming over here.
Yeah. So I mean that
he doesn't like to kiss and tell though.
No, I don't. And the truth be known is that there is a very low demand for studio portraiture anymore. Everybody thinks they can hold and make a photograph.
That's why you see. That's why you see. Have you ever seen? Sometimes you go into Starbucks and you see some girl and she's kind of cute or whatever, and then the next thing you know, she's holding up her iPhone and she's taking 500 shots of herself. And then you see on Facebook all the time. You see shots of women, and basically, it's almost the same shot every single one. They like move their lip just a hair, and then they move it again, and then they tilt their head, and it's like they do 500 shots, and it's all of them, and it's all the same photo.
I agree.
What's the point of that?
I don't get it. And now with the filter, everybody's taking about 20 years off their age. These women look like they don't have.
I can't stand that.
And I agree. I mean,
totally you know, accept reality. We don't want to.
No, we don't.
I wonder if the ancient Egyptians accepted reality, or did they? I know they didn't, but I'm wondering just what extent was it?
They invented makeup, eye makeup.
I thought that was the Chinese.
No.
Or was that firecracker? No, that was toilet paper. The Chinese invented toilet paper.
And then they said, now we need a squat toilet for this. No,
which I know I no longer agree with that use of toilet paper. I don't. It's nasty to me. It is extremely nasty.
You know, I stayed in a hotel that had one of those high-end Japanese seats.
Oh yeah, those are great.
Fuck man, I wish I.
Those are the best.
That would have been the best $2,000 I had ever spent.
I gotta tell you that, we've had some water issues in our home. Yeah. Okay. And so the pressure is not quite as good. You can't always use the spray. And Nicholas refuses. If that spray is not working it's not working 100%, he will wait to go to school to do his business there because he does not want to do things the old way. When we went down to Storytime, he refused to take a dump in Storytime because the only thing that we had was a squat toilet. Didn't he? Wait a minute. He stopped. No, he did. We stopped at a gas station, and there was a. No, he didn't. That's what he said to me. Oh, if I would have known that the gas station that I stopped at was a Western toilet, I would have used it. But he didn't, and neither did Alex. And Alex said, "Yeah, I didn't have to go. I didn't really care. It wasn't a big deal. But I don't have a problem using a squat toilet." Nicholas, on the other hand, he has a real problem with the squat toilet because he doesn't like the idea of using his hand as toilet paper. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to wipe his ass with his hand. Which, hey, listen, it's not the most pleasant thing, but it is your ass, and you know you got to do what you got to do. I was ready to use the banana leaf. There was a point when I was ready to use the banana leaf, and we were going down the road, and I was like, if we can't find a place, just find me a banana tree. I'll rip off a leaf, and banana leaves apparently make good toilet paper. You didn't know that, Johno?
No, I didn't.
Well, now you learn something new every day.
Every day.
If you're ever in a pinch, if you ever need to pinch a loaf, use the banana leaf.
I have them all over here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's
Or I can
what's
go
in
down
that
and buy
water,
a 4-pack,
man?
like a additive.
What is it? A laxative?
Electrolyte.
Oh, an electrolyte powder.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I thought it was I thought it was a laxative or something.
No, it just
Metamucil?
No, not yet. I don't have that problem. I have the other. I should be eating.
Oh, it's so funny that I was watching Joe Rogan the other day, and he actually was talking about how he now no longer trusts his asshole.
Can't trust your farts when you.
You can't trust the farts. Your asshole just doesn't comply.
Somebody wrote. They said.
Larry said, "Thanks for the tip. I have 2 banana trees growing in my yard." You always have a good way to take a dump.
Said everybody trusted a fart and lost at one time.
Yeah, well,
unfortunately,
once you get older, that happens.
A little bit older crowd here, in a sense. And
mark our words, young people. There will be a day when
absolutely.
You rip one and you go, "Oh, that doesn't feel too good."
Yeah,
that
called a surprise. A fart with lumps. Sorry, hey, you brought it up, but not I. I just want.
Even that grosses me out. I prefer rubbing a banana between my cheeks more than the leaf. Oh.
I got more jokes. I'll just refrain. But no, it's one of the things here is again. Scott
tell us about it.
The bum gun thing.
Oh, great!
And
I love them.
I thought it was just for washing. I'm kidding. I knew what they were.
Yeah, that was the Chucky. I can't believe it. I thought it was for the maids to clean.
And yeah, just
no, it's for your ass.
So your viewers know I'm not just some airhead. I said.
Well, they already know that.
I said, Scott, let me tell you. Don't interrupt me. I said, let me tell you what happened. You went over and you were going to do something with Chuck, and no, you were going to do something. You went over to talk or whatever.
Right.
And then he brought up the fact.
We had a meeting.
Yeah, a meeting. Okay. And then he brought up
talking about the day's activities.
Look, wait, you agreed with me. You said it's just how it happened. The bum gun came up, and Chuck goes, "I've never used one."
Right.
I don't mean to speak about Chuck in his absence
no, I
or
understand.
anything.
I don't think he really cares.
Used one, and I said, "You said what? Let me get my video."
Exactly.
Said, that's exactly what happened.
Well, that is because I find it strange that a guy who's been to over 100 and something countries has never sprayed the water up his ass, because that there's numerous countries that use that.
What they do. Now,
and it's much cleaner, in my opinion, than using toilet paper.
Do you think it was?
Oh God.
No.
I'll never trust the bum gun. I only consider it to get rid of the chunks, hanging shards. I still got to use baby wipes to clean thoroughly. I can understand
depends on
that.
your physiology.
But yeah, for some reason I'm capable of keeping my drawers clean.
Yeah. Next subject.
Yeah, next subject. That's a rough one there.
Yeah.
You start talking about poo. Where's Beyond Trinity when I'm talking about poo? He's the king of
king shit.
He's the king of people talking about poo. He likes to do that. So so you have any future in mind for yourself here? Anything?
Not
You're gonna
really.
find a lovely woman and settle down, and
No, no,
you're not gonna let her move in?
nope,
I thought you already did that
no,
though.
no. She's
Only
at
for
work
the
right
night.
now. No,
Then you boot her out.
no, no, not at all. No,
No comment.
no, I just, not that I could, but no, no. I have had
Never
no
say
depend-
never.
No, I know. Well,
Well, you
yeah.
are a little old though, and I mean
That's
you don't
just
look
it.
old.
No,
You don't look old,
right.
but I know
Yeah.
the older you get, the more you're just like, just leave me alone.
Don't bother.
Don't bug me.
It's the same
Yeah.
way with friends. Between you and I hate people. You're the lone exception.
Of
No,
course.
But what I'm saying is that I
I
remember
feel
when
special now.
when my dad was 65 he was about 65, and The Godfather came out, and he was full Italian. And I came home after seeing the movie, and I spent 10 minutes telling him, Dad, you've got to see this movie. And he basically says, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it, but as you get older, you just lose interest.
I
in
have a little
things.
story to tell you. More money you have, the younger you look. Longhorns wants to look inside of your refrigerator, but I will tell you that, when I was still in the printing industry, and I had taken over, or I was going to take over because the guy was closing the shop. I was going to take the customer list and basically farm everything out. I was going to be a broker, which is what I ended up doing. There was a guy who I knew, and I didn't like him. He owned a business, and he came in and said, listen, I'll pay you this much money every year to work for me. I want you to keep with the customers. This way you got your money coming in. And, I'll pay you this much money, right? And, you have benefits, and you have this, and you have that. And I just had said, what do I want to work for this guy for? I said,
Like a pimp.
well, I just decided I don't have to do this. And he's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to, work for yourself and get a printing press and this and that? And I was like, listen, buddy, I'm just telling you right now, I don't believe you. I don't believe that you'd keep me on. I believe you just keep me for a month or two to get
your
in with some of the
client list.
customers, get all the clients, and, and then you wouldn't care about anything that I did. Oh, why would we do that? I'm like, listen, you know what? I wasn't born yesterday. I don't believe you. I never did like the guy. I never liked him. He's a Brit. He was a prick. And, what was funny is that the guy's wife didn't like him either. And she ended up telling me that. But
Didn't like his eyesight?
he didn't, yeah. Well, he was definitely not,
Prime.
I don't know, what's a British guy? Actor or something, Hugh Grant or something.
Yeah,
He was nothing like that. He was more like Jack Black than anything else. But anyway, so I didn't trust the guy, and I was like, listen, I don't have to do this. I got other things I could do. You don't have to. A lot of times you don't have to do things. If, like I said, if you really wanted, you could lay on the sofa all day, smoking cigarettes, watching TV, listening to jazz. You wouldn't have to leave your pad probably for a month because you could order food out. They bring you the food, but for some reason you have something in you, or we have something in us that makes us want to do things that keep us busy,
Sure,
mentally active, physically, emotionally, whatever, that's just what I think. But
It's funny you
what do I
mentioned-
know?
You mentioned about client list. I was poached by a competitor when I was in sales, and they laid me out a pretty good deal, and I was young and naive, I was 27, and I was making a good living in sales. And what really happened was they just wanted my client base, and they just squeezed the shit out of me until I left or quit.
Right.
And sometimes the grass isn't greener. I won't
It's just
say
a different shade.
it is.
Is what I usually say.
I made more money in the 2 years on a higher commission thing, but their grand plan was, we want your inroads to clients we can't get to.
Right.
That's business. That's business. So
Yeah.
That happened.
Speaking of business, do you know, Johno? And I've been talking about this. I set up a GoFundMe, worked it all out, wrote it all up, and I put something in about that right now Hong Kong is not being covered by the mainstream media, although things are still going on every day. There's police attacking, spraying, whatever you want to say. There are protests that turn violent. There are all kinds of things going on. Still going on, but because of what's going on with Iran, because of Trump's possible, because of his impeachment, because of Brexit, because of the fires in Australia, now Iran, it's really dropped down to the bottom. I'm a member of two groups. It's basically comprised of, it's a little secret couple of groups that are comprised of foreigners and also Hong Kongers. And less people are covering it, and the people who are covering it tend to be independents. And so some people, they've just either run out of money, they have no way to do anything else, or they pulled out. I mean, most of the big places have pulled out. So I put something in the GoFundMe about the fact that the fires of Australia have also, along with these other things, overshadowed what's going on in Hong Kong. And GoFundMe actually said, your account's under review because of you're wanting money for the bushfires of Australia, which that's not what I was asking for. That's not what I even wrote. I wrote that because of the fires, because of Trump's impeachment, because of Iran, because of Brexit, because of the trade talks, that Hong Kong is now like at the bottom of the list. It's people are not viewing it as important. It's not in the news. People don't know as much about what's going on. I still get ties all the time going, oh, is something still happening there? Yes, something is still happening there. What are you doing, Johno?
I hurt my back yesterday.
Well, you are getting old.
No, I walked into something, it just...
Yeah. Like I said, you're getting old.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. Anyway, so, now I don't know what's going to happen with that. I do still think it's really important. I was going to put it up. I was going to put a link up to it today. I can't do it. Not at this moment. So I may put something up on my website in the next 72 hours or so. Otherwise, I know people don't want to think about it. They don't think they make a difference, blah, blah, blah. I personally think that's not true. I think it's important for everybody to show what's going on there. I think the Chinese have been caught with their hands in the cookie jar far too many times, and they've gotten away with it. And while I don't always agree with the violence that occurs on the part of the protesters, or who knows if they're really protesters or they're actually people from the Chinese government, I don't know. It's very difficult to tell, but I do think it's an important situation to keep covering. So that's why I started the GoFundMe. Now, maybe the GoFundMe will go up, or maybe I'll just have a link. I'll put a link up, but I'm trying to raise money to go back in a few weeks. And I do have a couple of companies that are working with me. They're not going to give me any money, but they may come forward with a little bit of equipment. And so hopefully that'll work out. I've talked to two companies already, and we're in the middle of negotiations. Let's put it that way. Something will occur. Something will happen. So, Johno, what are you doing? You're doing dishes. You're on a stream. This is like if you're on Joe Rogan's podcast. Look at this guy over there. You're on Joe Rogan's podcast, and and like his guest is I don't know what's one of his guests.
Smoke break.
Yeah, his guest is like doing the dishes.
You read my requirements before I agreed.
Thank you, Sky Trooper. I appreciate it. You know, the idea of the GoFundMe was the real idea. He cannot sit still. Believe me. I know, Johno.
I thought you were just.
We're talking.
No, but it's on you.
You can
right?
talk.
They don't know I was doing dishes. Until you
Well, they
said
do
something.
now. Actually, Johno made a pretty good coffee this morning. I will admit it.
Thanks.
He did. He did. He made a good coffee. Yeah, I know. Johno's run out of time. It's, you know, he has no more time for the stream.
No, you were
He's
talking
too
about
busy.
that.
He's too busy now. He's making pickles and other things. He's cleaning the dishes. I don't know what I was saying.
About the GoFundMe.
Yeah, the GoFundMe.
I listened.
Oh, the reason for the GoFundMe is because the people who help support this channel, help support me, most of the people have been contributing long term already. They've been more than generous. And so I have to broaden my viewer base, broaden the people who are familiar with what I do, whether it's making little videos, shooting photos, doing streams, whatever. I need to broaden my base. So that was the reason for the GoFundMe. You know, I don't know if it's going to end up happening, but I mean, I do have a moderate social media base.
Yeah.
YouTube is the biggest one now, you see. But through Instagram and through some Hong Kongers and other people, maybe that'll work. I don't know. But I know that there's no way I can do it without help because I just don't have the money. Swadee crap. Swadee. Gee, I wonder who this is. Let's see here. I don't know. Anyway, there are high levels of what is this? There are high levels of particulate matter, 2.5 micrometers and 10 microns. Those life-threatening dust particles get into our lungs. We can get cancer, premature death, and a plethora of other health problems.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That happens.
Okay. Well, that's, you know, that's one of the many concerns that we have in the world today.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't say that wasn't a issue for me here, but thanks, sir. And you know.
Well, yeah, Johno smokes, so that's
Yeah, so I have no bitch about it, but.
well, you've already made it to 65. If you make it another 10 years, you did okay.
Fucking 10 years. Give me a break. Dude.
I don't know.
I'm thinking more like 11.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. I think I moved from America with a pituitary adenoma here and finally got a brain MRI today after 4 years of no checking. LOL. Oh, well, it's good you got it done, I guess.
Yeah.
I need a lot of things done. I need an overhaul on my body.
I need an oil
Ain't
change.
that the? Yeah, I need an oil change. I need a refurb. I need a refurbished engine. I need all kinds of stuff.
They need to top off my antifreeze and my tires.
Oh, you're 27, but feel like old already.
Wow.
Lived a full life already. Well, dude,
God bless you.
yeah, good for you for 27, but
Yeah.
I can tell you that if you make it to 57, you're not going to feel the same way.
Yeah.
You got to know the 30 years. That's a hell of a lot of living.
You know, now that I'm in middle-aged.
Middle-aged?
Fucking my
You're
dad.
fucking retired. You're retirement age, Jack. I hate to tell you.
I'm
People
kidding.
don't think of you as middle-aged anymore. They
I'm
think
kidding.
they barely think of me as middle-aged.
I was kidding. My family has a long history of longevity.
Really? There's a
Yeah.
history of longevity, huh?
Well, my mom was the only one to die in her mid-50s, but my dad was 89. My eldest sister was 88. And
Yes, Longhorns, you are middle-aged.
Thank you. I like this guy.
He's middle. No, that's he is. He's
is.
saying he's
Oh, never mind.
middle-aged.
Okay.
Everything's not about you, Johno.
Oh, shit, can I go over and do the dishes then? I You know, you're talking about GoFundMe. I said, well, let me clean my fucking place up.
Oh man.
Jesus. Now you're gonna want me to have a cigarette and contemplate.
No, it's okay. But see, I want to see what happens if you don't have a cigarette for another 15 minutes.
That's not gonna happen.
You'll be jonesing, won't you?
I take literally four puffs off a cigarette. Seriously.
When I was 23, I was diagnosed with pituitary adenoma with the measurements of 9 millimeter times 5.77 milliliters. It's wrapped around my pituitary gland. It's benign, but if it grows, it can cause damage.
Wow.
Well, it's good you got it looked at.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But you are only 27.
Yeah. Your immune system's probably as strong as it.
You know what I always say? I always say that when it comes to me, I just am not lucky enough to just like die in my sleep peacefully or even get hit by a truck or something. For me, it's going to happen, you know, I'm going to be like, am I going to die already?
Right.
When am I going to die? And then, you know, like I'll forget about it and I'll be like 87 going, Jesus, I couldn't die if I tried, you know, and then I'll probably die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's probably how it'll happen for me.
Yeah.
Either that or I'll have a massive heart attack and just keel over. I mean, that could happen too. Or I could have a stroke.
I always thought I would be shot in the back shot in the ass on the downstroke by a jealous husband.
Well, I used to think that way, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah, now I don't have that problem.
How many times did you have to jump out a window to get away? Wow. I sometimes only see oily spots in my vision. I feel that the tumor is pushing a bit on my left optic nerve to my left eye. Wow. Well, like I said, it's a good thing you went and got it looked at.
Yeah. Getting old isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Well, he's not old. He's 27.
I understand that, but if those are the kind of things that probably don't target young people.
Oh, Mr. Mitch had a thing removed too.
Oh dear.
At least it's not cancerous. If it grows, remove it.
Yeah.
Who knows? You know, I mean, that's the thing. You got stuff going on inside of you. Sometimes you don't know. And then, you know, I heard about a guy the other day who he found out that he had some kind of cancer. I don't remember who he was, but he was fairly well known. And then, like, 3 weeks later, he died.
No.
You know, it's like, holy shit, you know?
I did have a...
wow, that was a big tumor. Now, location of my bit investigated could be sudden brain hemorrhage and loss of pituitary gland. The surgery had to be done through my nose.
Ooh.
Well, that's painful.
Ooh. Wow. You know what? Another reason is that you seldom bring it up, or when you ask me about the healthcare here. It is great.
You can get great health care
You
here,
can,
yes.
and that's the other thing that.
And it
made
will cost you
this
less
thing.
than in the U.S., but I will say that many places still try to stick it up the yin-yang.
I know there's one hospital right down the street that's known for it.
Jesus Christ, Tim. Wow, Mitch. Mitch, you got some things going on, man. I hope you get better. The nasal cavity bone has to be... Oof, man. Oof.
Oof. Yeah.
Well, that's, you know... Like I was saying... No. Like I was saying the other day, Johno. You know? It always could be worse.
Sure.
You know? I mean...
Sure. I can't save everybody. You know,
most people are lucky to save anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, even themselves.
You know, and when you think about now compared to, say, a few hundred years ago, we are very fortunate, very soft, I mean, you know, look, we live in clean places where, like, if you have a cockroach or a few ants, most people are like, oh, what's this? Oh, my God, I can't live here.
An author asked me if I
rats? Oh my goodness! Huh? You know what I mean? Like if you have rats in your place, people would be freaking out.
I know.
Think about a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff didn't. You know, people were just like, you know, you're shitting in a pot.
Yeah.
And maybe that you ended up throwing it on top of somebody over the window. Now I will say I saw something on the Rogan podcast the other day. I don't remember if it was new or old. It was about the pig toilets. Where basically you go and take a shit in China and you got a hole in the ground and there's pigs underneath it. And the pigs will actually move underneath so that they can eat your shit, which is fucking disgusting.
It is, but what kept people alive So how disgusting is it? I'm just saying, it was either that,
Yeah, well, so,
or not eat some.
well,
some
I don't
good
know.
hog.
Well,
Oh, I'm just saying.
you're eating a shitty hog. I don't know how good
What
that
do you
can-
think they've been feeding them so much for so long? You know.
Yeah, I guess.
You know.
Well, good luck with that, Tim. That's some serious shit.
Really, man. Whew.
I can only imagine.
Me-
Here we are talking about shitting
Yeah,
on hogs.
and one of your viewers is, you know what would kill you more than anything was tooth infection.
Oh yeah.
You know, an author said to me one time, what
Any kind of infection.
it
back
was
in the
normally
day.
teeth.
Oh.
That would do it. That would put you out in a week.
Yeah.
You know, he asked, what would you take with you if you can go back 500 years? And I said, he goes, you can take anything back. I said, a fucking iPhone? He goes, they didn't have Wi-Fi and shit. I said, what would you take? What would you take? He said, a dentist.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
that's the only thing that would keep me getting past, you know,
At least
16.
you know, like dental floss, toothbrushes, toothpaste. You know, the little
Wooden teeth.
your own little scraping device.
Yeah,
and,
they didn't worry about it because they knew they were, you know, caveman lived to be 14. You were an elder.
You felt better without the TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, which I used to do, if you
Yeah.
remember. I used to do it every 3 weeks. I'd go in, and, you know, once I had the problem with my bile duct in my gallbladder, they told me, you can't take it until you get tested again.
Oh.
And so I tested again. I was out of the range, but I was very close to it. And they just go, yeah, you're going to come back again and get, and I was like, all right. And then, you know, I was like, listen, I haven't had it in a couple of months.
Yeah.
I don't need it, you know.
Yeah.
Everything still works just like before, you know.
Yeah.
Chance of throat cancer now. I have to get checked. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I was thinking about your shoulder. But I'm not 27, so I'm not that worried anymore.
Yeah. I've been healthy. You know, what can I say? You know,
Yeah.
except for nothing, really. You know, except for some wart taken off my hand, man. I've been pretty
Off your
fucking-
ass? What?
No.
Oh, off your finger.
You know, I'm just
A lot of
saying,
people around the world have cancer. It seems like a common occurrence nowadays.
There was
Yeah, I've known a couple of people who had problems with cancer or who died from cancer, and I know numerous people who somebody they knew passed away from cancer
I
or
just
something
lost
like that.
my mentor 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Cancer, wonderful woman, you know, and full of life and everything, and she was more of a fighter than I could be. I know it.
Huh.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I often wonder if
This place is coming around here. You know, I don't mean to change the subject, but I just see he's got a little, you know, like they're little manly, feminine touches. You know what I mean? Like it's like there was a woman that kind of started decorating this place.
Well, last time you came over,
You have anything that I shouldn't show anywhere? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's all.
All right. So there you got the little rock set up there. He's got the little incense doodad. He's got his laptop, which he probably doesn't use now, but he's got his big computer.
No, that's...
He's got, you know, he's got all kinds of little stuff. He uses his hard drive as a bookend, which I still want to get rid of a lot of my books. You know,
Let me know.
you know, huh?
Let me know.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I will. I got a, you know,
Yeah.
couple
I still-
hundred. I got a
still-
couple hundred books, but
I do Kindle too.
yeah, but I want to get rid of them just because, you know, I know I won't use them, and you know.
Well, after they're read, what the hell?
Yeah,
are you gonna
everyone
do?
should be the National Dental of America, and I am. It might help someone with certain food disorders, cancer, become a member at 19. Oh, I don't know if I am or not.
So
I guess I would remember.
just let me remind you and the first week or two that Scott came over. He goes, "Wow, that's a nice place. You got to start doing something with
Yeah,
this
yeah, that's
stuff."
true.
Yeah, and I said, well, you just
True.
go out and decorate.
Although
with it.
I'm not one
Fucking
for the
little
hats
watchy.
thing. I'm
No,
not
I
one for
know.
the hats as decoration.
I
Or the
know.
wallet. But I like the cameras. I like the little rocks over there. I like the little jazz photos. You know, I like those little things. Those are cool. You know,
I have a lot.
I mean,
I took them
You
out
know,
of the frames.
no guy or chick is gonna come here and go, oh, you've got a woman here. You
Yeah,
know.
No, they don't. That's why I. Never mind.
I like this little thing over here. This little person hanging up on the, like climbing the. It's like a wall there.
Well, it's the only place I could put it.
Well, why? But
This is going to be covered with photographs eventually.
how's it going to be covered? You have no room over there now.
I'm taking that fucker down.
Is that yours?
Mine? Yeah, everything here is.
Oh, really?
Except the sofa.
Oh. Oh, the sofa's not yours?
That's the only thing. The place wasn't decorated really at all. You know, you look at some of the places for rent, and it's a move-in.
You got these?
Yeah, that's my art. Yeah, some of the stuff I brought back.
What do you mean your art? Oh, you bought that before? Oops, sorry.
Oh no, I've had that for 30 years.
Oh, so that's
I like
right.
the
I forgot
coffee.
that you. I forgot that you went over to the U.S. not long ago and you just returned. Don't you have a plan to go back again? When's that?
I may go back and take a 3-week job in July.
Yeah.
When I left, I retired from the place, but I know they're going to fall apart without me there, and
Yeah.
I figured I felt an obligation to my. I'm kidding. Fucking money. The money's really good. So, and it's the hottest. Actually, April is the hottest month in Bangkok.
Yeah. Pretty
So
hot here.
you know, you escape a little of the heat.
So you get to leave during Songkran, which is also
July?
nice. Oh, I thought you said April.
No, April's the hottest month, but then they're paying for my round trip ticket. They made me an offer I shouldn't refuse.
Yeah.
So that's still up in the air. My room and board is paid there for a month. So I
The
may do
painting
that.
on the wall looks like he dipped his yoo-hoo in the paints and started making hula hoop motions. Chantilly sounds like a nice place to travel.
That's
the weather
nice
is
because the
well.
original sold. Somebody saw it and said my kid could do it, and I said, you know, you should leave now and go to an art store and have your kid do that because the original sold for about 1.3 million. So if your kid has that kind of talent, you should definitely not be with me. And I've had to defend abstract art all my life, and everybody says the same thing. Oh, my kid could do that. No, they can't. Like we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. It's like, you know, oh, I'm a good fighter. I could be a pro fighter. I could probably be champion if I really worked at it.
Yeah, sure.
Most people, they have no clue.
No,
Or the
no
same
idea.
with photography, same with any kind of
Anything.
art. Doesn't matter what it is. Anything that takes skill.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, I know all about computer networks.
No, yeah.
But, you know, then you ask somebody to put together a network for a hospital, and they're like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, so.
People have made difficult tasks look very simple because they've been at it for 50 years.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, I tend to make things look very difficult that
I
I've been
can-
at for 50 years, and I still
Yeah.
make them look difficult. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's
What happened? I lost like 9 people in a matter of 30 seconds.
the art.
Is that what it is?
Might be.
We're talking about art, and they see
Yeah,
jazz and
that's the end of
photos,
that.
and
Anything
it's like,
with any kind of culture.
that's the end of
attached.
that.
We'll
What's
go back
going
to
on?
the shit.
hey, how
part.
many thumbs up do I have, and how many thumbs down? I'm just curious, because I didn't even look at the stream before I came on. We're running out of time here quickly. I'm curious to know. No
response?
no response. All I get is the paintings on the wall look like he dipped his yoo-hoo. 6 and 6? Are you shitting me? I got 11 on mine right now. I got 11 thumbs up, so maybe it's 11 and 6. I just don't get it, man. What? I mean, you know, like,
I don't either.
I just don't get it.
I mean, in Scott's defense, he really, not his defense, but Scott really does take an effort and asks me for ideas, which I can't give him.
I ask a lot of people
You
for
do,
ideas.
and he asks me.
And
I
most
say,
people
"Jesus,
don't, you know, they don't care enough to respond.
it's
They
not
just go,
my-
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know anything
It's
about
not
it. You know,
my-
yeah, I understand.
You know,
It's
but-
I do the same thing with a lot of things. I bounce shit around. I
Yeah.
do it to my family. I ask my family, what do you think I should do about?
It's hard to come up with content that is Thai based because everybody knows it's being done to death. But there are a couple YouTubers here that film their doorman bringing up stuff. and the tip and why they tip them, and they get a lot of views.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think, do we
I-
need to
yeah.
keep it simple? Should
Well,
we
I,
not talk
I, I
about
kind of
modern
wonder
art?
about that. Yeah, I mean, then I think like, okay, if I walked around, well, first of all, if I had a pair of big breasts,
Wouldn't need to buy
I,
a dinner ever.
I'd probably be in a lot better shape,
Yeah, you wouldn't have to be
on YouTube at least. But yeah, no, I always wonder about that, and it's not, I don't feel bad about it because it's like whatever. It's like it's the difference between you look at Jack Black and you look at Brad Pitt and you go, well, okay, well I can see why there's a huge difference. You want more views? Let's see Johno's photos. Johno doesn't have any photos.
I don't show my shit anywhere.
Oh, he's talking about like naked chicks or
Oh,
something
fuck.
like that.
No, that's not what I take them for. Not for public consumption. I do them for my own experience and for the person that's with me.
No, I mean I understand that, but I will say this: I have tried to get Johno to go out and take photos more to begin with his photography, and he told me before. He said, "Why don't you sell some of your prints?" I'm like, "I do sell my prints. The problem is I don't sell enough of them." And most people, they don't care. They just don't care. They don't want the stuff. They're not the people that I do. The circles that I run with tend
Yeah,
to be
they-
people that aren't buying, prints in galleries.
Exactly.
Although I don't know, once stuff starts selling in the gallery in California, maybe that'll change. Who knows? I don't know. I guess maybe they listen to me and they go, "I ain't buying that guy's picture." I don't know. I don't know what it is because very few people can do that anyway.
It's just very
It's an
small
art.
market.
And yeah, it's an
Yeah,
art, and there's a
it
small
is.
market,
It
and
is.
most people, listen, I don't buy them.
I
I'd
don't
like
either.
to. There's a lot of people I'd like
Oh,
to buy
hell yeah.
prints of their stuff,
Yeah.
photographers, and I just can't afford it, and
Yeah.
I can barely afford their friggin' books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I understand it.
One of the photography channels, what's his credo? I won't mention his name, but he says nobody cares about your pictures.
Oh, that's Ted Forbes.
Ted Forbes.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody really
I
does,
understand that.
unless it's of them, and then
Well,
they're mildly.
well, wait a minute. I will say, unless it's of them, or it's important to them what the subject matter is, and that's the reason why, to me, I think Hong Kong and the issue with China imposing themselves around the world in different places, I think it's an extremely important
It is.
issue, and I think that a lot of people are asleep at the wheel right now. And the same goes with the Middle East. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. They don't realize that these countries, their whole mission is to, some of the governments in these countries, I'm not going to say the people because, there are good people everywhere, there are bad people everywhere. But I think that most people are, they're on auto drive. And so they don't believe that anything's going to happen to them, especially in the U.S. and in some
Absolutely.
places in Europe.
A sense of security goes a long way.
Yeah, I mean, they're just sitting there, and then, and like in Iran, North Korea, Russia, China, I think that a lot of these places, they are planning and plotting how to do things, and it may take them years. And we're just asleep at the wheel going, well, everything's fine, and everything's fine right now.
I think a good indicator might be the fact that when I was in high school and when Nigeria was called Biafra.
That's
did stuff like that, and then there was Live Aid and stuff.
Yeah.
That wind has come out of that balloon a long time.
Well, yeah, I
People
mean, and
aren't
look
willing.
at the Joseph Kony thing, the Kony campaign.
Right.
Where is he now?
Yeah.
Well, he's basically, his organization is nothing now.
Yeah.
This is the thing. If we were to start over, we'd still end up here. It's just human nature. We're not as good as everybody thinks we're supposed to be. Yeah, we have these high ideals and these religious ideals that state we need to be a certain way. It used to be, no sex before marriage. Well,
Yeah.
we all know that was bullshit. As soon as you get a hard on, you want to stick it somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Living together.
Yeah, living together,
Taboo.
premarital sex,
Yeah.
taboo. Thou shalt not kill. All these kind of things. Why is it people don't just know? Because, you get somebody and he goes, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm going to kill this guy, I'm going to get what he has, but he's only got $3. And that's acceptable to some people.
Yeah.
which is why we came up with laws. You know.
What is it? We have 22% of the world's population, of our population. I mean, 22% of the world population in American prisons, when we only have 5% or 8% of the world population.
Yeah.
And you look at that, and we're doing something wrong.
Well,
Not
it's
to bring up a new topic.
no. It's all right though,
something
because
wrong.
it's just it's about. I hate to say it. It's about your standard of living, and I think that there's a lot of people in the United States, and while they may expect too much, I think that their standard of living isn't as high as they think it should be, or as they view human, and that's why people are constantly talking about the minimum wage. And yes, prisons are big business, and there's too much money at stake. Just like cigarettes. Why are they selling cigarettes? Why are they selling alcohol? And now they're just now starting to sell pot because they know there's huge money in it.
Right.
It's all about the money, and the money gives people some people a better life. Not always, but you know, that's why a lot of the impoverished countries, there's so much corruption, because the people who are in charge know, hey, I've only got this much of an opportunity to live like I know people can live.
Right.
You know, they want to be filthy rich.
Crazy law. I'm a smoker. I'm not gonna. You fucking know that, right? But in the Bay Area, they banned menthol cigarettes.
When?
About a year ago. They
Where?
banned in Oakland, San Francisco.
Really?
You can't buy. I used to have to go in a shady neighborhood to buy if I wanted menthol, and I smoked menthol. That's fucked up that they single out one thing.
Well, why?
What
was their reason?
Don't know. They think it's less healthy. Well, if you're thinking about health, ban all of them. Same thing here. They banned the vape pen. I was in my 7-Eleven, and a woman came in with one of those vape pens, right?
Right.
And they're trying to ban those in San Francisco.
They're already banned here. They're illegal.
Right. So she went in, like.
This is a Western chick?
Yeah, I could hear she was from Britain or something. And she came in, and of course she thinks everybody speaks her language, and she says, takes her vape pen, older one.
Says, do you have one of
these? Do you
these?
have any of these, maybe in blueberry or strawberry? And they look, and I said, ma'am, they're banned in Thailand. She just said, no, they're not. So I was outside, and I was drinking the water, and she came out, and I said, ma'am, I live here. They're banned. Don't get caught with one. And her son came over. It's crazy that they would ban them. They're just as bad as cigarettes, if not worse, maybe. Right. But ban the cigarettes too. If you're truly concerned with your citizens'
Yeah, I don't know
health.
what I mean. You know, I know there are issues with vaping pens and stuff, but I don't know what's the, you know, like I can't tell the difference. And like, what's the difference between drinking, where it influences people enough to where, you know, they drive off the side of the road, they crash into people because of alcohol.
Yeah.
It starts fights. It causes people to do things. It's usually, people are not usually just doing coke and say, you know, heroin and never drinking a beer or never drinking booze. Usually they go hand in hand. So if you're going to ban something, why not ban the alcohol as opposed to marijuana?
And don't block it out on my prime drinking hours.
Well,
2
yeah,
to 5.
yeah, that's some bullshit. No, you know, I mean, like, listen, you know, I've got those bottles of tequila sitting in my room. I haven't drank since the time when I fell asleep because I drank too much. I haven't drank any tequila since then.
No.
And, you know, there have been times when I've wanted to go out and get a bottle of wine or whatever. And, like, maybe what happens is I go, and guess what? They're not selling it that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, shit. And then I tell the old lady, hey, you know, on your way home, get some wine, will you? And she doesn't stop for some reason. She goes, oh, I didn't stop. I didn't get any. And I'm like, shit. So I didn't get any wine. I'm like, oh, wow. You know, I drink wine like 3 times a year. Oh, my goodness. It's going to, you know, and I'm not going crazy with it and going out and, you know, driving a car into the side of a, you know, 7-Eleven or something. So, you know, what's the purpose of that? Because the government, the problem is the government thinks they control the people, and they are the government's big daddy. They are daddy, they are big brother, and they think that that's okay. And listen, in China, they went into a couple of different provinces. The police went in and took blood from the children to have their DNA. And the parents, even the Chinese parents, were like, "Why didn't you send in? Why didn't you ask us first? Why didn't you have doctors and nurses do these procedures? Why do you have police do it? What is the reason for this?" Even the Chinese adults were asking these questions, and I'm thinking to myself, if that ever happens with my kids, if that was to happen, I'd be like, "No, we're not giving you." Well, guess what? You're going to have problems with the local government then.
Right.
So why is the Chinese, it's not only Chinese, but why are governments, and the United States does this stuff too, where they feel like they have the right to impose these things on people because some guy sitting in a suit in a little office who, is talking about how God's going to help us get through it. Why is he allowed to make some law up and then pass it from the people? Why does it work that way? I mean, if you ever think about it, this happens all over the world, and it could be just one ruler who's, laying down a law, or it could be like in the United States. Yeah. I never get that where they can impose themselves and say you're going to do it this way. Think about it. Even just let's look at the sex laws in the United States. There are still laws against doing it
sodomy or
doggy style or whatever it is. There's still laws on the books about this.
Like the law here, you can't go more than once a time, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm clueless. No. That flew right over my head. There,
no,
John.
but you bring up a good point.
Thank you.
You brought it up once to me, and you said, or a friend said, where do your rights end and mine begin?
Yeah.
Coming from a very liberal area.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I used to have the student, I asked this person, what shall I call you? And he said, they.
They?
That's what they want to be.
What do you mean? Why did you even have to ask them, what should I call you?
I work for a government, and one misslip of the tongue will get me in hot water there. It's whatever you want.
Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
We had transgenders in my...
See, I'm sorry.
And I had to stop and say, I don't call you hey dude and all that, and I'm not, what's your name now, because
God,
ex-military too. And he said, you can just call me they. And I said, whatever dude, I'm glad I'm retiring out of this shit.
Yeah, see, I don't get that kind of stuff.
Me either.
I don't get that, and I think people, and where does all this start? Where does most of it start in the world?
I don't know.
The United States.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't,
live and let live. We both agree.
I really don't even care.
I don't give a shit.
But, if I accidentally call you that guy over there, it's not a guy.
That's what I'm saying.
And then you get in trouble for it, that's bullshit. If you don't do it intentionally, if you're not intentionally trying to do that, you shouldn't have any problems.
I will tell you a story later, but anyway,
is it too high quality or too lowbrow?
And stereotypes, and I won't bring that up on this. But,
well, that's good.
Well,
YouTube frowns upon that.
Well,
just like they frown on all kinds of things now.
Well, yes, and one of the things is that I explained the word kind of hard for me to I'm not even going to bring up the stereotypes. We all have them, but truth is, when you live for as long as you live, and it was boy girl, and at my age they want to bring in they. It's a little difficult for me. It just is.
Yeah, Mr. Mitch just said he went to the doctor, and on the form it said, "How do you identify male, female, other?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
restrooms.
I just can't get over it. I mean, you can say whatever you want. Listen, I'm Alexander the Great. I want you to call me Alexander the Great.
That's what I almost said earlier.
My name is Alexander the Great, and I am a great man, and you must treat me as such. I am the king of,
I agree.
Wherever, right?
I agree.
You must address me by this, or I'm offended, and I'm going to sue.
Yeah.
How ludicrous is that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's my opinion, but... I don't even want to go there. I can't go there because I just can't. I I think
Yeah.
everybody knows my, even the lurkers. I think they know my feelings
Well,
about this, and I have nothing. I just don't even. I don't have time to give a fuck.
I know. I'm not that I don't have time. I mean,
You have
I
time,
don't-
physical time, but mentally you just don't have
I
time
wanna
to even
deal with
care about it.
It's just funny. Somebody came up and I said, "Hey, stop and bring some beer from 7-Eleven." And they came up and they said, "Holy Christ, man! You got like the most transgender workers at 7-Eleven that I'd ever been." And I said, "There's something around 14,000, 1,000. There's about 1,400 7-Elevens just in Bangkok." And you're telling me that you haven't seen a transgender in one of them? He goes, "Not 3." And it's
The whole
true.
place is full of them.
And one of them changed while I was off. I was like, "Thanks, dude." And then I go, "Okay."
Well,
yeah, thanks.
I think in time people will stop saying dude, chick,
You're right.
broad.
Right.
I mean, listen,
Tomato.
how many times have you called a bunch of women broads in your
Oh,
life?
No, hell no.
In your life, you've never said that?
Oh, I did. I have to get off that one. Usually it was tomatoes.
Well, you don't have to if you're in Thailand.
No, I know, but
when you
where
think
I
about
come
it,
from, you do.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, why is it they could call us dudes and we can't call them broads? What's the difference? I
Yeah.
don't see a difference. Get
I
over it. If you're that soft, people, I mean, listen, people call me fatty, shitty, stupid, ugly, handsome, fit. They call me all kinds of things. When is it that where do I draw the line?
That's what I said. Where does my freedom start and yours end? And I was in school and we had to do front of the house classes. So here I am serving. My teacher heard me, said, "I'll take your check now, ma'am." And I walked over.
I'm losing subscribers because of this conversation.
Sorry. Come up with start
Viewers. I don't know about subscribers yet. I probably am.
Yeah, but she said, "Please don't say ma'am." And I was 50 years old at the time, and I said, "I'm sorry. That's the way I was brought up." She said, "No." I said, "What should I say?" She said, "I'll take your check now." And I thought, okay, this woman was like 65 years old, but the truth is, we have to make these you'll in a public school that I was attending.
Right.
They don't have labels, I mean,
See, I don't know how any other way to speak.
that's just it. That's what I told her. I remember when Ms. came out, MS. I was 21 years old, and it was in printing, and the proofreader goes, "We got a typo here, MS." And we said, "No, Ed, that's the new designation." He said, "For what?"
For an unmarried woman.
And he said, "Oh, I get it. None of your fucking business." That's what he said. He walked out, and
Why are you waving around toilet paper? That's what the question
a
is.
prop.
You don't need a prop. This
Well,
is
how
hey, listen, we're low end here. You don't even need toilet paper.
You said I couldn't go 15 minutes.
You haven't gone 15 minutes.
No, that's fine.
He's jonesing right now. It's been 35 minutes since he smoked a cigarette. He has to have one or he's going to go berserk.
It's called an addictive habit, fellas. And I'm not apologizing.
I don't recommend smoking cigarettes. If you're young,
I don't either.
if you're young, don't smoke cigarettes. Dude, that's awesome. What? What is awesome? The prop is awesome? I don't know what's awesome. There's a lot of things that are awesome. Sorry, that's awesome. Ugh. I thought they is plural. I don't think he does. 35 minutes without a cigarette. Yeah. At least he goes outside. He does that all the time. He goes outside to smoke. It's not because of me either. He's not one of these guys who's got an ashtray full of cigarettes around. He's too anal. He couldn't leave like 2 cigarettes in an ashtray for longer than about 2 minutes.
That's me. me.
Right?
That's me.
My father gave me a puff of his Camel cigarette when I was 4. I thought I was going to die.
So did I.
These identifying things are nuts. Yes, they definitely
do.
are.
I
I will tell you something about cigarettes. When I was in school, people used to put their cigarettes in their T-shirt sleeve.
Navy style.
Right. They put them in their sleeve. And I thought, oh, wow, that's so
That
cool.
is so cool.
And then people be like, yeah. Man.
Have a Zippo lighter.
You know.
Go like that.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yes. You had to have
close
the Zippo lighter to light the cigarette, light your own.
I didn't start smoking until I was in...
And I smoked like half a cigarette, coughed my brains out, got dizzy, and I went, this sucks. It tastes like shit. Now, weed was a little different because it was sweet. It was sweet. Back in the day, it was nice, sweet Colombian gold when I was growing up. That, you know, if we got the good shit, it was Colombian gold. It was chocolatey. And if we got the bad shit, it was Mexican dirt weed.
And for those of you younger people, we used to...
We get the Acapulco Gold once in a while, sorry.
You used to take a double album.
Oh, yeah, I did that too.
Bag and then get all the
seeds out. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I used to use Frampton Comes Alive. That and what was it, Captain Fantastic?
I had the Who double album.
I think it was Captain Fantastic. The Who.
Elton John?
Yeah.
That was a double album?
Yeah,
see, that's
was
what's
it?
fucked up is you can't do that with a CD, man. Anyway.
But you can use that for something else.
No, I know. But it's funny you say...
I don't dabble in those things anymore for a long time.
The potency of marijuana, I am so happy that I did not grow up with that high potent marijuana. Seriously.
Really?
Absolutely. The shit we had.
What was that movie or something like that where the guy was like Mr. Straight and Mr. Perfect, and then he took like a hit of weed, and next thing you know, he was like, there's some movie, I forget what it is, movie or TV show or something like that.
My parents, I was 15 and they discovered my stash.
Oh, I don't even want to get into that on the air for me because.
Oh, sorry. But anyway, Christ, man, they were, you know.
My God, the dope now is crazy.
It is. It's genetically altered to a point where it shouldn't.
Did you ever see that show? What was it called? Strain Hunters.
No. Oh, sounds good. I should see it.
Oh, it's fantastic. You just look it up and you can find some full episodes. But there's an episode where I've talked about this. Marijuana cup in the Netherlands and stuff. They won it several times, and they have this. They became millionaires hunting the best strains and putting them together and doing all these things. So they go to the Democratic Republic of the Congo to find like great weed because they had some people tell them that there was good weed to be found there.
Right.
So they're looking for this particular really high, this type of seed that is supposed to be fantastic. Yeah, I saw that movie Reefer Madness growing up. So they go out to the DRC and they can't find it. It's, like everything in the DRC, it's like, oh, it's going to take me 3 days to get to this place. No, it's going to take you 7 because you got to go through these checkpoints and people want money. You got to bribe them and you got to do this, you got to do that. That's one of the reasons why it's so expensive there, because of all the shit you got, all the payoffs and, the permits in every area and all this kind of stuff. So they get out to this place and they finally find this weed that is supposed to be fantastic. So he gathers a bunch of seeds and they're getting ready to leave, and they find out that they have to leave immediately because the locals have found out that they are wealthy, they have money, and they are trying to pillage their marijuana and to bring back seeds so that they can get rich off of it, and they're not going to give them anything. And so they get away, and they go back, and it turns out this weed is spectacular, and they end up making millions, right?
Nice.
So they go back. The guy goes back. The one guy, I forget his name, like French guy or Belgian or something like that. But they go back, or he goes back to the Congo, and he starts to build schools there with some of the money. He starts donating schools to the area. Yeah, can you hear it? He's not singing right now. Yeah, it's rude for them to assume you purposely try to offend them. Yeah, this is offensive to me. But whatever. To me, it's just noise.
TIT.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever. I'm not, it's not so offensive to me. It's just offensive to my ears because I don't really want to hear it. But um,
what can I say?
anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, the weed. So the guy comes back, starts building everything. And, they're happy or whatever, but, they still want a little more. They want things to, I guess he did them right or fairly, he did them pretty well. Because he felt bad, he thought, hey, it's the right thing to do, which I agree. It is the right thing. If you make a bundle of money off of something and you should go back and give back to the community. You should do what you can to give back. He goes back, he's back there. He does everything he can, and he comes back to his country. They got business to run. They got things to do. The guy contracted a rare form of malaria while he was there, and he died.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Tell
Tell me that the world isn't strange and that things.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just shit happens, and sometimes you just don't know what's next. You can't plan for anything.
We'd all love a crystal ball occasionally.
Well, we do have it sometimes. Know that if you smoke cigarettes for 50 years, there's a good chance you're gonna get cancer or you're gonna have something. I give my plastic bags to the community. Isn't that special?
Speaking of not buying beer between 2 and 5, because I'm connected here a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Come on, you got.
I didn't say anything.
But I found a store I found out he's a distributor. He doesn't give a shit. I go down there, I can buy anything I want.
Yeah.
Well,
that's good.
I mean, there's always getting back to the weed
exactly,
thing,
Longhorns. Exactly.
The weed thing. I remember when my home state of Connecticut started the lottery under the guise that it was going to give back millions to education. Come on, man. After bureaucracy and shit, those schools just got worse. People stopped voting for initiatives to give more to schools because they said, well, you have this lottery money. And the same thing, I think, went for the states that looked at marijuana as an influx of tax dollars. I don't hear too many reports about Oregon and the pilot states about it being any better after 5 years of
really?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it.
Well, I think it is better, but the people in charge, some of them are still apprehensive about stating that marijuana has made their state better.
They're the ones that passed these laws under the guise that it was going to bring in income.
Or maybe they're just shoveling it into their pockets.
Well,
I don't know.
You know what it is? On one documentary I saw,
I don't know.
It forced more underground because the prices shot up. In California, you pay about a 30% sales tax on
weed.
Yeah.
How much is it? Do you know?
Oh yeah.
Well, how much?
An eighth of marijuana will go.
Grass? Reefer?
Of reefer.
Yeah. Wow. I know nothing about this subject.
Anyway, it goes from the grade, I'd say an average of $40, $45 a gram up to $60 for a 3.5 grams. Bless you. And bless you. But it's $1 million bill.
How much?
40 to 60 for something good.
For how?
3.5 grams.
Okay, so that's an eighth.
An eighth an ounce.
Yeah, so that's
an ounce.
200 to 300 an ounce.
Yeah, an ounce. Yeah,
Wow.
No, try a little bit more than that.
Are there really 36 people watching? No one is commenting. Yeah, well, that's the par for the course there, Mr. Mitch. Yeah. Lots of lurkers.
Yeah, that's fine.
Lots of haters. Lots of,
Truthfully, I used to watch a lot of streams unless I had something to add or a good joke.
You never said anything.
I didn't.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that rarely say anything.
Yeah, I'll do dishes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I'm talking about in the chat. They rarely speak or type.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I've seen is schools getting nicer and people get paid more, but our students aren't getting smarter. Well, that's another problem. The problem now is that education system, the education in the United States seems to be the quality seems to be lacking, and I think it has to do with the schools. They either can't afford or don't want to pay the money that they, a teacher can. They could probably go out and make a lot more money doing something else.
Absolutely.
But you were a teacher.
Yeah.
And
One of the concepts that a state came out with is they said, and I wish I knew more about this. They said for every new public school that we build in this state is going to have adjoining facilities and an apartment for the teachers. Because moving to San Francisco and getting $41,000 starting pay doesn't buy you shit. You're spending half of your pay going.
Well, again, this is part of the problem, and this is not just an education problem. It's a problem in places all over the world, and I think it causes a lot of major issues. I mean, look at the homelessness, look at people shitting on the streets over there. You got people fighting with each other, and it's because if they all had a great standard of living, there would be very little turmoil. I believe there'd be less turmoil. There's always going to be turmoil because there's always going to be some asshole who thinks he has the divine right to, claim everything for his own or whatever. Listen, Longhorns, I have to tell you that in the middle of the night I woke up like I usually do, but I fell asleep early and I got like 4 hours of sleep. I fell asleep at like 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. Woke up at like 12:30. And I couldn't get back to sleep. So I started for some reason I wanted to watch Bonanza. And I started I watched a couple episodes. I watched one about Haas getting ready to get married to this hottie who turned out to be a gambler. I watched all these episodes. I mean, like 3 episodes, 4 episodes of Bonanza before I could fall asleep, And I forget the point of my...
Me too.
How good is my memory?
I forget.
What? Let me hang on a second. Let me see here.
You fell asleep. You watched Bonanza.
I do try to disturb, though. Yeah, well, I know that. You're disturbing. We admit it. I forget what the point was my Bonanza story. There was a reason I was going to talk about
Bonanza.
Bonanza.
3 or 4 episodes of Bonanza.
I don't remember if it was because, things were different back then.
Well,
in the old days.
Until you remember.
Yeah.
I was...
Maybe I'll remember. God, I feel bad about that.
Eastern
Scary,
Seaboard, under the big blackout, 66, 67? Where the whole Eastern Seaboard went dark for 8 hours. And there was no looting as far as I know.
Oh, that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, and I said, well, people change, and some right-wingers said, no, people haven't changed. Society's changed.
Yeah.
And maybe there's an argument there and everything, but shit, the lights go out and you got looting now, Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, these times I don't, I'll be honest, I don't like these times. And while it's nice that, life is not all that difficult, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, we got it soft. We got it easy in the West.
Yeah.
In most places in the West. I think there's a trade-off for it.
Absolutely. There is.
The schools. What was I going to say?
School
teachers. Yeah, they don't get paid as much. Oh, but back in the days, the financial end, while it was growing, it was important. But people still used to barter. People used to say, "Oh, let me work for you, on the farm for 2 days, and I'll get this or get that. And we'll make a trade or whatever it was. I'll give you this."
Don't like that.
No, they don't like that because they don't make any money.
Tax.
Now it's all about the money. It's not about. I think it was something to the effect that in Bonanza, it was like Ben Cartwright. His word is as good as gold. And I think it was Haas was going to get married to this woman.
Crazy.
And she sees this slot machine. He's like, oh yeah. And she goes, can I play, please? Would you give me some money? So he gives her a couple $5 or whatever, right? Which is a lot of money. She promptly loses it all. And then she says she's going to go shopping. Can I have some money? I need money to go shopping. He gives her like $300, which is a lot of money back then too, right?
She's a hoe.
And so yeah, she's a hoe. She wasn't a hoe, but
Yeah, I know.
she was looking for the sugar daddy.
Was she Thai? Sorry.
Oh, Johno, bad joke.
Sorry. Go ahead. Maybe I'll throw him off track. He won't remember the end of the story. Go ahead.
Anyway, so she tells him that she's going to go shopping and, hey, go on ahead, honey. I'll take care of everything. You know, don't worry. I'll meet you back in an hour. She sits down at the card table and promptly loses $5,000. So the casino, the bar owner goes all the way out to the Ponderosa and has to present this $5,000 IOU. And he's like, what the hell is this? And Haas doesn't want to believe it, you know, and so, yeah, I don't know. Now you got me off track again. But it was about how, these are different times. And yeah.
People?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it,
I'm
going to say, I don't know.
maybe. I thought I'd pick it up and maybe.
You see, if I had an assistant, they could remind me. That could
we
be
need
a
a
job.
teleprompter, man. That's what we need.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen that episode a million times. Then I know what it was. It was about the guy. This is what it was. The first episode I saw was about this guy. He was a sheep herder, and he had a group of guys around him who were willing to fight for him. And this sheep herder, came upon the Ponderosa. He was able to go straight, go around it, left, go around it right. Well, he decided he was going straight through it. And people were telling him, listen, buddy, this is the Ponderosa. You don't want to mess with Ben Cartwright.
Hell no.
He don't take kindly to people going through his land. And so they just decided to do it anyway. They go across the land and, of course, the Cartwrights ride out and say, you're on Ponderosa. This is Cartwright land. You can't go through. And to his credit, it was like, hey, listen, I can't let every Tom, Dick, and Harry just run right through my land and let the land willy-nilly. He says, well, how about I pay you a little something? He's like, nope, your money's no good. Sorry, you're going to have to get out of here. He goes, well, can we spend the night here? Yes, you can spend the night. So what does the guy do? The guy ends up screwing him. He takes his sheep through, and they find out he's not gone. And then the guy tries to take over his land. He strong-arms him, kidnaps, what was the guy's name? Pernell Whitaker?
Yeah, who left after a year.
He was only there for a year?
He said, this show ain't going nowhere.
Really?
Swear to God.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
After all this time, I never knew he was only there for a year.
A year, I believe.
I remember I thought he was there for not the entire time.
Never did shit afterwards.
No, yes, he did. He was on, what was it, Trapper John or something?
Oh, yeah. No, okay, maybe. But yeah, I'm just saying, he could have had 7 years of fucking... He would still be getting royalties.
He was the mean one, but he could be mean, but he was the logical one there. Haas was the big old doofus. Lil Joe was the hot-headed one.
Yeah, and Hop Sing.
Hop Sing, yeah. Remember Hop Sing? You couldn't get away with having a Hop Sing now.
Oh, no, man.
If you did, there'd be people, crying foul and racist and all these other things, but,
True.
True.
I should have used that for my stereotyping explanation. Remember Hop Sing and,
Well, look at Kung Fu.
Yeah. Well, what is wrong with that, though? This is what I say. I had a Korean student. I said, do you know how to make kimchi? She said, of course I do. I have my grandmother's recipe. Now, in a lot of circles, they might say, just because I'm Korean, I know how to make kimchi? Well, yeah. Is there something wrong with that?
It's okay. You can calm down.
Well,
you don't have to get excited.
I am. I'm an excitable person. I need
Yes, I know that. Already?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, wow.
I'm just saying. What is wrong for asking an Italian for his spaghetti sauce recipe?
What is this from True Internet sending me messages? They don't need... See, this is the thing. I don't want them sending me messages. What do you got to tell me? What does True Internet have to tell me? No, some message.
I know. Because you're on my True?
No, it has nothing to do with it. It's true because I have True.
True. Okay, I thought it was because
at home. True. So they're sending me a message, which is probably, we're going to be down from this time to that time or something like that, which, okay, great. But I don't know. Now that we're talking about, the old days, you know what I like? I like the old days when you called somewhere, like a bank, and somebody answered the phone.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Hello, Bank of America.
Yeah.
Can I help you? What happened to those days?
Yeah.
Now you get please press 3 if you
Deposit.
want to speak if you want to make a deposit. Oh, by the way, please press 1 if you want Burmese, 2 if you want Thai, 3 if you want English, 4 if you want Afrikaan, 5 if you want. And it's like, wait a minute. Just let me get the. Tell me the way to get right through. Push 357. You push 3 beep. You hear the beep. 5 deep. Boop 7.
See, I like the machines. I don't want to talk to these people.
I want to talk to the people just to get it over with.
I know.
And when you do it through a machine, you got to sit there every time you sit. And one thing with like AIS and True, you call them up about something like the other day my internet wasn't working, and I'm like, I call them up. I'm on there for 15 minutes before somebody even talks to me. And then I got to talk to them for another 15 minutes because they're trying to explain why the internet's not working. I'm like, listen, all I want is it in the neighborhood? Oh, no, sir, it's not in the neighborhood. It's just your system. Okay, I understand that. Now, can you get it fixed? Okay, can you do this? Can you do that? Yeah. Why do I have to call up? And what they did was they sent me a message. And so when I went on to my email, there was a message, just like now. There was an email. And I was like, what's it? Oh, in your region, we're going to be working on your internet. So I talked to the lady. I said, listen, I got an email. It says you're working, on the cables or whatever on the system in my area. Oh, yes, I do show that they're doing that. I said, you just told me you weren't working on it. So now here I am. I spent a half an hour.
I know. To find out.
And then it was like, sir, give it 5 minutes. Please restart your, router, blah, blah, blah.
Shit, yeah.
I did all. It took me like 35 minutes, 40 minutes to get it started. Meantime, the old lady and the kids, they want to watch a movie on Netflix. Sure. They can't watch it because True, whatever reason, because, I can't just call them up and go, hi, how are you? Yeah, I got a problem with my... No, I got to sit on hold, and then they got to transfer me to this department and that department. The banks are the worst.
Yeah.
That's my rant for the day. I kept it pretty clean.
Not bad. Not bad.
I'm not using the foul language as much as I used to.
I'll make up for it.
Well, we want to keep it clean. We want to show that we have a vocabulary that is sufficient.
Somebody told me,
without foul language.
We're sitting around and my coworker said, they found out that people that swear a lot have a lower IQ. I go, that's fucking bullshit. And I did. I meant it.
Yeah. Well, you could have just said, fuck you.
I wanted to make a point.
Yeah.
Because he didn't swear. I thought he was smarter than me. Go fuck yourself.
Oh,
I love this part. This is the best part.
Is it the same every day?
I don't know.
Can you guys hear that? Shh, wait. Let's see if they can hear it.
Let me open the window.
Yeah, open the window. Now, I'm not moving at all.
Singing Hello Dolly.
That's got a bit tired already. The Shenandoah, the Hello Dolly. Can you guys hear that? So while it's a great view, there are some drawbacks to living here. My goat is afraid of me. Someone called my brother's phone the other day. I answered, and the person started asking me about my prescriptions. I said, are you my Afghan doctor? The Indian said, excuse me. And I repeated. He said, sorry, LOL. Fuck yes. Listen, when people call my phone and I don't know who they are, and they ask for me, they say, can I speak to Scott? I always answer the phone. Who's calling, please? Doesn't matter if they call from me, call from my wife. I always ask, who's calling? And here in Thailand, a lot of time, they don't want to tell you who they are. Once in a while, they'll tell you, and they'll be like, oh, I'm True. I want to know if you want internet. I already have internet with you. Oh, sorry. Then you hang up.
I always ask them, hey, hon, what are you wearing?
Uh-huh. That's
makes
real
them
nice.
How,
I'm sure, the next thing you know, if things change here, you'll have a cop showing up at your door.
Shit. That's why I say, hello, NSA.
Yeah. NSA.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother subject.
That's for another time.
We've had a long stream today. We're almost at 3 hours, you know that?
Holy shit.
I don't really do that very often.
I better go get some cigarettes.
Oh, are you really out? Oh my
I'm
goodness.
kidding you.
Dude, you've smoked like 28 of them already.
They're this long when I finish. The lock.
Somebody's trying to break in.
So
Very
is that
nice.
the fingerprint
Very nice.
thing?
Oh, you know, it's 1,000 a month here. See, you're thinking it's 1,000 a month. It's actually more than 1,000 because the price of the baht is,
Price of
the value of the dollar has gone down.
That's what I was trying to say.
Well, that's why I was asking
Well,
you about it.
That's why you asked me about, and I understand, but I thought a lot of them want to know in dollars or whatever.
A long time ago, I got a call. Was the lady at the house available? I said no. She passed just yesterday. I do like that Thailand puts those nasty, ugly pics on the cigarette package.
I like them. I collect them.
I don't really care about them.
Okay.
When I see cigarettes, I feel nothing.
You're a non-smoker. I'm not going to try to.
Yeah, listen, in Hong Kong, they smoke cigarettes like it's going out of style. They're like mad smokers. You know, I mean, it seems to me like 90% of them are mad smokers.
American exports, man. That's who started in Japan, too.
I don't know. I try not to understand it. I don't want to. It's kind of like the whole transgender thing. I don't want to know anything about it. I don't need to know about it. I don't really care. I have my opinions. I've grown up this way, and the same thing goes with cigarettes. I mean, you know, listen, I understand. You start smoking, it's addictive.
It is.
And then you're like, oh shit. You know, Longhorns was recommending that you get on the nicotine patch.
I don't want to quit.
That's your explanation?
Smart. I don't want to fucking quit. Quitting's easy. I've done it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Actually, I just started back in July of this year.
Really?
Yeah.
So you could stop anytime you want.
That's what I kept saying.
See?
Yeah. Oh, I could stop anytime. Yeah.
So have you been using your, I'm looking at the Fuji over there. You been using that lately?
Yeah.
It was X100T?
Yeah.
Is that the latest one?
No, not that. No, this is about 3 years old.
Let me see.
100F.
Oh, it's just this is the F. I think
Yeah.
the newest one is the T. Now, can you put a converter on this thing?
Yeah. And then it makes it a big camera.
Yeah, you know.
It does, and that's just not what I wanted.
You know, when I told you I was talking to Fuji the other day, and I was speaking about using a very long lens and how useful it is for me. And while I could make it useful in certain places, like for wildlife or something like that, generally, I try to keep pretty small, pretty light.
Me too.
This is much lighter than, well, it's about the same weight, I'd say. It might be a little bit lighter, but I like the lens.
Yeah, well, one reason is that I never was tempted to buy
23, so it's like a 35. 23 2.0.
Yeah.
So it's like a 35
fine.
millimeter lens.
It's a carry-around camera.
Yeah, this is well, you know, I think to myself, what would I rather have, this or the Ricoh? Now, the Ricoh is a little small, and it's a little limited, but it takes great shots. But so does the Fuji.
Yeah.
The thing with that is you can put it in a pocket. This you can't. Do you really want to put this in your pocket? Most people don't care about a camera like this. They're not scared of it. They're not like, oh, you're gonna take my photo. No, they usually have no problem with it, and it is a cool looking camera.
Yeah, very retro. A server asked me. She saw it and she said, "Oh, you photographer?" And I said, "No, I own a camera."
You clack.
And she said, "I want to buy a camera. Can you tell me what kind of camera?" So I said, "Well, you know," I handed it to her and I said, "You need to go
Canon 1D
down.
X Mark IV, Mark III.
Yeah, I got some cameras. Come on, I got a camera. I can."
How much money you got?
Yeah, and as soon as she looked at it, she said, "Too complicated," and she was right.
Well, I can tell you because I get a ton of grief from my wife anytime I got to take a photo of something. I'm like, okay, let's go over to the place where the best light is, where it's not too bright, where it's not this, where it's not that, and her idea of acceptable and my idea of acceptable are like night and day.
I know.
So it's like she takes a photo with her iPhone. She gets lucky. You see, I took that in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, yeah, well, you know.
Yeah.
How often does that happen, honey? I mean, you know.
You can eat filet mignon. You can eat.
The other day, she told me that she sent me a photo and she didn't mean to send me that photo. I said, why not? She said, well, look at the photo. The photo is terrible. I cut off the top of you know, Alex's from his shoulders up.
Yeah.
I said, well, what'd you do that for? You know, I thought you were a photographer. Of course, you know, she didn't like that. She didn't like my smart-ass remark, but yes, okay, $3. I know you can get them for $3. $3 is 100 baht, though.
Yeah.
You're talking about 3 baht or $3? If it's 3 baht, that's cheap.
For what?
For a bag. A bag to like in the grocery.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I've seen them. Listen, in the mall Bangkok at Fresh Mart, they're like 29 baht. It's $1. You got to fork over $1 every time you want one of these reusable.
Well, it'll take it when they did that in other states. It took a while.
Yeah, it'll take me some time to get used to it. And what I'll end up doing is putting a little bag in every single bag I have that I carry with me, and I'll have a bag out like by the door. So if, you know, that's what'll happen. That's how I'll teach myself to do it.
When I had my own car, I had like 5 bags in the trunk.
Yeah, Bruce, stop sending messages through the thing.
I had.
You can post it right here in the chat if you want. That's fine.
5 or so bags in the trunk. Everybody did, so you got used to it.
Yeah.
Bringing it.
Well,
But
that's another
we don't
thing.
have
If I was driving a car,
walking around with a
that would
frickin'
be
bag
different. And you know,
in case you need milk, you know.
Yeah.
You know, or cigarettes.
we've really beat that to
Exhausted.
death,
Yeah.
haven't we?
Yeah.
We beat the bags thing to death.
Yeah.
Most people don't care about bags.
I do. I hate them.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, you know.
I think it
Remember
was-
when you used to get paper bags?
No shit. And then they said, "Oh, save a tree, renewable resources." You know, plastic.
Well, you know, listen, you can make the bags out of hemp. They do it. I mean, what about straws here in Thailand?
Oh man, they're making a big thing with that. And
They're gonna change. They're
We
gonna
had-
be. They're
we had
gonna
a-
be made. I mean, listen. You got the other day. I had a drink, and I used a straw, and the straw was a piece of junk. It was a
Yeah.
little plastic thing that
Yeah,
was like so thin.
compostable.
And I'm like, what the? I don't need this. I need something. You're gonna give me something. Give me something I can use. Otherwise, don't give me anything. I don't care. Like I said, I'll drink out of my hands if I have to.
A restaurant is mandated to have something like 60% compostable to go.
Where is this?
In California, if
Oh,
not
really?
San Francisco. So at our venue,
But we don't live there.
yeah, no, I'm just saying. I'm getting back.
Just giving you a hard time,
Yeah,
man.
getting back to the thing. One of our plastic utensils was 0.08 cents, less than a penny, and then we had to go to compostable that were 3 cents a piece.
Yeah.
And someone, you know, who's picking up the tab? Not
Taxpayers.
The restaurant. Yeah, the person checking out.
Yeah.
But if it's all good for the thing against mankind, maybe it's worth it. We don't know. You know, we don't really know. The compostable straw thing, oh my God.
Sometimes that thing, you know, we think we can do incredible things.
Yeah.
So it makes us think that we're really intelligent. Really,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know that we are as intelligent as we think.
No, not at all.
I mean, you know, it's like when you think of a big rocket ship. Yes, okay, it's very complicated, but when you think about it, basically, it's like, okay, what can I use to like throw some guy up in the air, and you know, or a bunch of people up? How can I throw these people up in the air far enough where they get through this thing we call the atmosphere, and now then they go to their destination at however many miles an hour? How can we do that?
And
That's
should we
basically what
do
you're
it?
doing. We're throwing somebody up in the air, but you're throwing them up on some little contraption. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, why not use a huge catapult?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you can come up with all kinds of things like that. And that's where we're at in the world now. We're not as intelligent as we think, and we're not as civilized as we think.
And you still have flat earthers.
And I still got flat feet. My feet haven't hurt lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I haven't been walking for
Walking
25
around
miles, every other day or something. I don't know. Well, I think, Johno, we've come to the end of our little stream.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been fun visiting with you.
Hope we entertain you.
Every time Johno and I get together, we can never stop talking. I mean, you know,
Kinda.
I have a couple of friends like that. It's like I talk to them on the phone, or I go meet them, and it's like, you know, a 4-hour, 5-hour ordeal.
Yeah.
You know,
And you forget what I called them.
and it's not a bromance or anything like that.
No.
You know,
No.
we both disgust each other. But
me not so much at him, but
thank you.
no, I'm kidding.
Plastic. It's all your fault. Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
so I gotta go, but I will say this: these streams are they you know what? They cost me my time. Going to Hong Kong cost me my time. Please, if you can't contribute in one way or the other, leave a thumbs up. Continue watching. Forward this, share it, do whatever you want to do. Well, not this, because it ain't going to stay up. But, you know, go down in the link, buy something, buy a book, buy a little print, buy a little t-shirt, buy a little coffee mug, whatever you want to do, however you want to contribute. But if you want this channel to keep going and to be strong, I need your help. I'm just going to say that right out there. I wish I could just put the GoFundMe thing up there right now, but for, you know, whatever reason they've deemed, they think that I'm trying to raise money for the bushfires in Australia, which I'm not. Apparently there's been a bunch of scams, people scamming people for the bushfires and stuff like that, which is, you know, screwed up. But anyway, whatever. Hopefully we'll work it out. So, yeah, there's that. Please continue to leave a thumbs up. And I guess that's it. You know, maybe I'll be somewhere different next time. I think Johno's going to shave my head. He may shave my head today. I don't want to get rid of the beard, though, so it might look a little awkward. I don't know. We'll have to see. Thank you, Mr. Mitch. Thank you, Mr. Longhorns. Thank you, everybody who's been watching. All you lurkers, thank you. Thank you for watching. Not that it really matters. I mean, you know, if I was talking to 2 or 3 people who were cool here, you know, if it's just Mr. Mitch and Longhorns. Where's Gennaro? I haven't seen Gennaro. Beyond Trinity. I haven't heard from him since, it's been a couple of days now. Yeah, whatever, you know. Whether it's 6 people or 60 or 310 like the one time, you know. It's better to have more than less, but in the end, what are you going to do? You know, doesn't really matter, I guess. You got any closing words there?
Glad you asked. No.
That's it?
Yeah. Huh. Thanks,
Wait,
guys.
yeah, we get a thanks, guys.
Thank
Take
you.
it
I don't
easy.
know.
Mr. Mitch, take care of yourself, dude.
Yeah. I hope.
I don't know what happened to Tim. He's in my Facebook, I think, but take care of yourself, buddy. It's good you went and got that taken care of,
Yeah.
for sure. Just buy some naked pictures of that chick if you want to support the fire. She's donating. Oh, yeah, that's right. I'll be lurking for now on. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Mitch, thank you. I guess that's all we got, so bye-bye, Johno. And until next time, stomach. First time in a while, it's growling. I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, in the Prakanong area of Bangkok. And until next time, Chok Di, Leo Dirk and my, good luck. Chok Di. See you guys later. And that is all. Thank you. That is all. Bye, Johno.
We're out.